Well, they held the Olympic Games 3 years ago here in Barcelona, and this afternoon we're in the Olympic Stadium, the Montjuic, to see World League American football action. And to get us underway, a bungee jumper. He's a braver man than me. Mike Carlson was offered this job as well. He turned it down, Mike. I don't blame you.
One more drink at the NFL experience and I might have done it, Nick.
It's the Scottish Claymores in town against the Barcelona Dragons.
You know, he's right in front of us as we speak, and I would not want to be hanging there.
I wouldn't swap places with that guy for anything. Right, well, Coach Jack Bicknell, we saw him earlier on today, very much a hero here in Barcelona. 10 years with Boston College, knows the game very well, knows his players very well, and knows that his team has a lot to do this afternoon.
And the most important thing for them is to protect the passer better. He's got the biggest offensive line in the World League. They average 22 stone, 2 pounds per man, but last week they gave up 8 sacks. So if they don't protect the passer, they're in a lot of trouble. Secondly, that line has to establish a running game. They'll probably go mostly from the one-back set and look for them to run when they see fewer than 7 guys opposite them. And finally, they think Scotland's receivers are the best bunch in the league, and they've got to shut down those pass catchers.
Well, a similar set of problems facing Jim Kreiner, the Scottish Claymores head coach. Could have got off to a win. Unfortunately, a last-second field goal sailed wide. But Jim Kreiner, he too has been very busy this week working on things to try and get things sorted out for game 2.
He was satisfied with his defense. The most important thing for him was to solidify that offensive line. They've had a lot of injuries. They've rejigged guys. And because Barcelona will come at them with a 3-man front, a 3-4, he's moved players around to try to counter that. Secondly, they want to get the ball to Sirhan Stacey any way they can, whether he's running or whether they pass it to him out of the backfield. They think Stacey could be the best back in the league. Finally, they had the ball in scoring position a lot last week. They didn't get enough points out of that. They want to do that this week.
So plenty of things for both sets of players to worry about. Matt Blundin, he impressed me enormously in the first game, and not surprisingly, the man from the Kansas City Chiefs gets the start this afternoon. Those numbers impressive.
And Blundin had looked like probably the best passer I'd seen in the practices over in Georgia before the season started.
Now Casey Weldon, on the other hand, didn't have such a good opener in the World League. As I said earlier, he did it all at Florida State, but has still really to prove himself as a professional.
I think Brad Johnson might think that Casey Weldon didn't quite do it all. There might have been a little left for Brad to do, but I mean, when you're sacked 8 times in a game, it's tough to get your offense going.
Just about ready for the coin toss. The opening ceremony is almost complete and almost ready for World League American football to come back to Barcelona. Our team captains coming out to the center. There we go. And Cito Pons will be doing the coin toss. He's a hero here in Barcelona, former world motorcycling champion at 250cc. Next week, Jose Baquero, the Barcelona soccer player, will be in action, handling coin toss duties. The Dragons very keen to get involved in the local community.
Scotland, you are the visitors. Who will call the toss? If you call it in the air, please.
One of the keys to that, Jack.
Heads is the call.
Very much involved.
It is a head.
In Barcelona.
You want the ball. Which goal will you defend? Put your back to that goal, please.
So Scotland get the first break. They call correctly and they will receive.
Scotland wins the toss. They'll receive.
Barcelona put the sun in their eyes, while the sun will be a factor here early in the game while it's still high in the sky.
Well, they've got a dangerous return man, of course, Scotland. Alan de Graffenried. Whether he will get involved on this first kickoff, I don't know. Number 80. But Alan de Graffenried, one of 2 real threats out wide for the Claymores. Tim Barnett, the former Kansas City Chief, is the other one, and just look at that production.
And you know that Barcelona thinks that these are the most dangerous receivers in the league. One thing they said, even their simple patterns, they run them deep. Every play that they run goes deep.
Ben Torriero, number 44, is out on the kickoff coverage for the Scottish Claymores. Alan de Graffenried, it looks like he will be going back, along with Joe Mickles, number 43, de Graffenried, number 80. A real threat. Scott Serradi will kick off for the Barcelona Dragons. He was drafted by the London Monarchs, incidentally. And was released in camp. So he'll be looking forward to when Barcelona play the Dragons. De Graffenried is there, back deep. One of 3 men back deep. And Zeredi gets us underway. Big kick into the end zone. And De Graffenried very sensibly drops onto one knee, so it'll be a touchback, and the fans straight away giving him the bird. So the Scottish Claymores offense will be working behind quarterback Matt Blundin. De Graffenried will very much be a factor in there. His line has been shaken up. Hesham Ismail is the key man at centre, but they've really shuffled the pack on that line. They haven't settled yet. Stacey and Thomas the backs, De Graffenried and Barnett the starting receivers, Dwayne Chandler the opening tight end. They often use a 3 tight end set or 3 wide receiver set, and will drop the tight end. First down from the 20 for Scotland. Motion from Barnett. And with the handoff and looking for some running room up the middle and picking up 3, maybe 4 yards, Byron Bonds, the nose tackle, in on the stop. Marcus Thomas, number 40, the ball carrier. Barcelona Dragons play a 3-4 front. So a lot of pressure on Byron Bonds, their nose tackle. There he is, the man in the middle. Bonds flanked by Chucky Johnson and Victor Hall, a 45th round draft choice. O'Brien and Johnson outside the linebackers. Ken Alexander and Juan Long inside. Second down and 6. And the pitch back. And looking to turn the corner. And dragged out of bounds. I think Chris Kroom came up, but Saran Stacey will be short of first down yardage. Chris Kroom's the free safety, along with Mike Middleton at strong safety, Tracy Smith and Eric Turner, who's improving with every practice. That's the defensive alignment for the Barcelona Dragons. Third down and 3 coming up. Scotland looking to get things moving on their opening possession here in the Olympic Stadium. Blundin drops, puts it up in the air, looks for Tim Barnett, and it's broken up by Tracy Smith.
Good man-on-man coverage by Tracy Smith. The linebacker on his side was coming at the passer, so he knew he was out there all alone. He came forward to break up the pass.
So Barcelona stopped them. First time out. That will bring up a 4th down for the Scottish Claymores. And Arden Krzyzewski, who missed that field goal last week, will handle punting duties. Takes his time but doesn't get off a good kick, and it's fielded at around the 46-yard line, and a return from Tyree Davis deep into Scotland territory. Davis is dangerous.
And he made himself a lot of room there. Nobody coming down the outside to keep him from going outside. They headed straight at him, and he had enough time to get to the outside, head up the sidelines with loads of room.
So Tyree Davis doing what Alan de Graffenried does for Scotland. He is the danger man that Casey Weldon will be looking to hit more often than not. But if Casey doesn't like the look of Davis, he can always go to his other man, Mario Henry. Lewis Age, the big man, Andy McCollum, the NFL man from the Saints. Big offensive line. First down at the 30. And the handoff and up the middle and ploughing his way through. It looked like it may have been Charles Thompson picking up a couple of yards. Gang tackled. Let's take a look at the backs and receivers for the Barcelona Dragons. A lot of potential. Davis and Henry are the wide receivers that I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this afternoon. Casey Weldon at quarterback. Chapman and Thompson, 2 running backs. Ricky Blake is in there as well, the former San Antonio Rider, but he's got an ankle injury. Second down and 8. Single set. Weldon gets... Oh, should have had his man there. Joey Mickey, the tight end going over the middle, just took his eyes off the ball.
And that's the book on Joey Mickey, who was basically a blocker when he played at Oklahoma. He weighs almost 20 stone himself.
There's the defensive front of the Claymores. Brandon and Alan Young was very impressive last week. Ridgely and Jeff Coate. Ricky Andrews and Tim Brown on the outside. Brian Jones, the middle linebacker, very busy player. Borgella and Williams on the corners. Cog Hill and Darrell Lewis in the defensive secondary. Third down and 8 for the Dragons. Motion from Shelby Hill. Weldon dropping back. Good protection. And he's picked off. Thrown straight to Jocelyn Borgella without a receiver anywhere to be seen. Borgella stepped up, and that hasn't gone down too well.
Looked like a bad read by Weldon because he actually was leading Borgella. Now you'll watch, the man to look for is on the right of your screen. Weldon's looking there. You don't really see him, but you see Borgella coming in. Borgella was in front of the receiver and the ball was in front of him. Take another look at it now. Weldon drilling it, and you see he's throwing for the man to run an out, and the man is running a straight pattern down.
So a big break from the Claymores. Jocelyn Borgella coming up with the interception, and Scotland take over on their own 46. Blundin fakes, pumps, looks, got a lot of time, looks for his big receiver there, Dwayne Chandler, the tight end, and the crowd don't like that. The ball spotted at around the 21.
And he had a lot of time to throw that ball, and the receiver was covered, but they sort of let him come down. It was Mike Middleton, the strong safety, on him man for man, but there was just a lot of room for him to make the catch.
And Blundin with a lot of time there. He was able to pump fake and still find his man. First down, Claymores. And the handoff. And trying to pick his way through for some running room and breaking one or two tackles was Saran Stacey, Eric Lindstrom and Kevin O'Brien in on the tackle, but Stacey able to get pretty good yardage there. A missed tackle from Mike Middleton, who came up from strong safety.
Middleton had him there, stopped at the line of scrimmage, but he broke the tackle good. And this is what Stacey can do. When he came out of the University of Alabama, he was one of the top-rated running backs in the country, right behind Tony Brooks of the Monarchs.
8 yards on the carry for Saran Stacey. The Scottish Claymores looking to put this crowd to sleep early. 2nd and 2. Blundin with the handoff up the middle. It's first down yardage and still on his feet.
You see why they like Stacey, because he broke tackles again there to pick up a gain when he could have been stopped at the line of scrimmage and should be a first down.
Kevin O'Brien with the stop, but Stacey did the damage.
Second effort by Stacey. They tried to rip the ball away. He does a good job of holding on to it. And see, still breaking tackles.
And Jack Bicknell won't like to see his defense getting pushed around like this. They started slowly last week against Amsterdam, and now it's Scotland here in the first quarter. Almost 11 minutes still left in that first quarter. Scotland, and Matt Blundin saw something he didn't like on the Barcelona defensive front and calls Scotland's first timeout. So 10:52 left in the first quarter. Scotland with a 1st and goal at the 9.
And one of the things that fast clock does for you, Blundin would have audibled at that point, but he noticed that he only had 2 seconds left on the play clock. Not enough time to get the change of play to his players.
Different types. Unitas was a quarterback that would get the snap, go back into the pocket, and he would wait and wait till the last possible instance to throw the football, and then take the hit after he threw the ball. Marino is the quarterback that gets back there, makes the quick decision, fires the ball, and it's an explosion when he lets that football go.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
You're 40 minutes late.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dickey.
Stanley Ipkiss was having one of those days.
I have no money. I have no car. All I got is this.
Until he had a little change of face. Now, the Zero is a hero.
Spoken!
Jim Carrey is the Mask.
Somebody stop me!
Playing on DirecTV.
So while the Scottish Claymores work out what they're going to do, it gives a bit of breathing space to the Barcelona Dragons defense, who've started slowly this week, the same as they did in Amsterdam. Jack Bicknell was saying to us earlier in the week that they really could have been blown away in the first quarter.
And bad tackling is part of it here. Bicknell is a kind of guy who likes to get assignments right, and then the players have to execute once you do. But Eric Lindstrom, for example, in the right place to stop Saran Stacey, but Stacey breaks the tackle. That kind of stuff will kill you.
So the Barcelona Dragons with their 3-4 front, the only team in the World League to play 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers.
And now they've got 4 down, which is why Blundin was calling the audible on the previous play.
1st and goal. The pitch back to Stacey, who's looking to work behind his blockers. Flags come down, but Stacey is down at around the 2, but a couple of flags
I think
on
we've
the
got
play.
a hold in there, but you see what Stacey can do so well. He waited for the hole to open, read it, and then got through it. Very close to the touchdown.
This looks like it's going to be against Scotland, and it's a hold. So that'll push Scotland back 10 yards to a first and goal at the 19. And Saran Stacey's good work for nothing. That was Hesham Ismail, the centre, who was playing tackle last week and who played guard in scrimmages.
One of the keys to the line, he does most of the snapping for them, so it's natural that he does play center, but they keep trying to rejig this line to get the best combination.
First down, Blunden with time once again, and looked for a receiver who just slipped as he tried to make the turn. De Graffenried.
And the pass was there if he hadn't gone down. But you'll see it's a nice little move. It's man-on-man coverage, which you'll see most of the time here in the World League. Little turn pattern, he's all alone. Ball a little bit high into the outside. He couldn't quite get over to it.
Tracy Smith, number 21, on the coverage, but Smith wouldn't have been able to stop that if it had been on target. Second down and goal for the Claymores. Again, Blunden with lots of time, puts it up in the air, gets to Graffenried, touchdown Scotland. He came and cut inside his man, who was Chris Crooms. And it's Scotland on the board early with Alan de Graffenried's 19-yard reception of that touchdown pass. They don't like it in Barcelona, but that'll settle any Scottish nerves.
And a good job of pass blocking there. Marcus Thomas picked up the last man to give London time to find de Graffenried. Now watch what he does. Little fake outside, simple post, ball's high, and he hangs on to it, takes a good hit there. Chris Crooms gave him one, but de Graffenried gets the 6.
The extra point attempt from Krzyzewski, straight down the middle, it's good. So the Scottish Claymores take a 7-0 lead. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this.
Now that you've given her away, you'll always cherish the memories. You'll always remember the joy. And you'll never forget the bill.
$220 for parsley?
But hey, isn't that why you got Visa Gold in the first place? With all the purchase power to handle any occasion. Even the most precious. Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
While NFL action is still months away, the NFL has launched a new season on the internet. NFL Sidelines is an online connection to your favorite teams and players. Connect on the net with NFL fans around the world and chat live with the biggest names in football.
This movie is rated R.
Plus special coverage of the 1995 NFL Draft. The NFL moves into cyberspace with NFL Sidelines. Tackle the internet.
A teacher in search of the right student. A student in need of the right training. A challenge.
Put her away.
That can only be met.
Let me fight him.
By the next Karate Kid.
True strength comes from inside.
The next Karate Kid.
Yes!
Playing this month on DirecTV.
Welcome back, Alan de Graffenried putting Scotland on the board. 5 plays, 54 yards in just over 2 minutes for the Claymores, and Blunden completed 2 big plays there, including a 33-yarder to Dwayne Chandler. So it's Scotland in control early. Krzyzewski gets us underway with a kick that's fielded at the 10-yard line. And looking for a bit of running room is Lindsay Chapman, who can't break free. And is eventually gang tackled at around the 27. So important for the Dragons to get something moving here quickly. You see Demetrius Davis, number 88, checking into the lineup. They started slowly last week. Casey Weldon threw 3 interceptions. That early interception here won't have done his confidence any good at all.
Problem with interceptions, of course, you're carrying the ball over, but in Jack Bicknell's offense, you want the defense to make the mistakes.
Single back, and the pitch is to that single back. Charles Thompson looks for a bit of running room, but Gerald Jeffcoat, the defensive tackle, stops him after a pickup of around 3.
And this is what they want to do, is establish the running game. Bicknell will come at you with just a small number of simple plays, but they'll run them out of different sets and different looks, trying to get one person to miss an assignment and open something up for the offense.
Not a very complex playbook from Cowboy Jack, but it doesn't need to be. 3 wide receivers once again. Weldon getting good protection and goes for his outlet man, who was Charles Thompson once again. Jocelyn Borgella came up and made the stop after a pickup of only a couple.
And one thing that's happening there is Casey's looking down to his secondary receivers, but his primary receiver is coming open at that same point. When he has the time to throw, his primary guy's coming open late, but he's already looked down to the secondary receiver.
So an important 3rd down coming up for the Barcelona Dragons here in the first quarter. They were awful on 3rd down conversions last week, just 1 of 14. And Weldon feeling the pressure coming. A flag comes down and Weldon throwing it away. He was looking, I think, for Demetrius Davis, but flags down Alan Young, getting great pressure from the outside, just as he did last week.
Casey Weldon felt the pressure coming, did a good job of getting away from it to get himself some time to get the ball off. Young, you can see he was in your picture there. Jeffco keeps his feet really well. Young now looking, and now he decides to just throw it away and takes the hit right after the pass goes away.
4th down situation for the Dragons. Scott Zerady will be on punting duty. Number 80, Alan de Graffenried, is back deep. Zerady gets off a pretty decent punt, which de Graffenried will field. His own 32, makes a mess of it, recovers, and is nailed straight away by number 59, David Webb.
And David Webb had a great shot there. Defensive end linebacker for the Dragons, getting good coverage, and de Graffenried lucky to hang on to that ball after the first drop.
In fact, it wasn't David Webb, it was Juan Long. Probably their fastest linebacker, the Barcelona Dragons. Certainly showed his speed there. So Scotland will get another chance. There's another one of their special team stars, Ben Torriero, formerly from the Harrogate Hawks. Quite a character. 1st down and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Claymores up by 7, looking for more. The pitch back to Craig Thomas, or the handoff rather to Craig Thomas, who doesn't get an awful lot before he's nailed by Kevin O'Brien coming up from outside linebacker.
O'Brien and Ken Alexander, the 2 linebackers on the left side, did a good job of reading that play and closing it down. Kevin O'Brien had a great game last week. We're talking to defensive coordinator Red Kellen, and he said he graded him as a plus on 53 of 59 plays. He'd never done that before. And remember, back in the old World League, those 4 Barcelona linebackers were the best bunch in the league.
Certainly were. Remember them well. 2nd down and 8, a gain of 2 for Marcus Thomas. Fakes the handoff this time, and he's got his man Saran Stacey, who is nailed by Mike Middleton, the strong safety. I think that's a matchup we're going to see a lot of this afternoon, and it's short of 1st down yardage.
But one thing you've got to like is with O'Brien right in his face, Blunden threw that sidearm and zipped the ball into Stacey, where otherwise it would have been a disastrous play for the Claymores.
A pickup of 3. Those are Saran Stacey's receiving numbers last week. Very versatile. They're looking to get Stacey involved in one-on-one situations. And Mike Middleton, the strong safety for the Barcelona Dragons, was the one man there, and another timeout called by Blunden. The 2nd of the half. They only have 3, and we're only halfway through the first quarter.
And again, the 35-second clock was down to 4, and they were still in the huddle. The ball resets as soon as it comes back on the field. Your receivers, meanwhile, are still running back to the huddle, getting ready. You can't take any time at all.
Well, Brad Johnson in the Sky studio knows all about this 35-second clock, and as he was saying, receivers and quarterbacks don't like it. Receivers especially, they just get tired.
Yeah, it's like running a second set of sprints after your play, and you come back. Another thing it does too, you can't get any motion going in your offense. You want to put a man in motion, it's going to take you 3-4 seconds to have him clear the line. You may not have that time. It can put you off your normal offensive pattern.
So it's the Scottish Claymores looking pretty sharp here in this first quarter. The Barcelona Dragons have had 2 offensive chances. One was an interception, one was a punt on 4th down. Scotland, well, they didn't start too brightly, but a touchdown on their 2nd drive, and they're looking for more here.
Kevin O'Brien trying to get the crowd into it. They've gone real quiet.
Third down, Blundin getting good protection from his line, and he's got his man. And it's first down yardage. Once again, Lorenzo Graham coming up with that one. In fact, it was Dwayne Chandler, the tight end.
And O'Brien had Chandler man for man on that, and Chandler nearly broke it and went away. He's a converted running back, so you know he can carry the ball. See, O'Brien's diving for the tackle. He gets arms on. He's lucky because he gets his foot as he's going down.
That's two big plays from the Scottish tight end, Dwayne Chandler. First down at the 45, the handoff up the middle. Pickup of around 5 yards. That was Lorenzo Graham. Juan Long in on the stop.
And Chucky Johnson sliding down from the defensive end did a good job fighting off his blocker and making the tackle on Graham.
There is Lorenzo Graham. Doesn't get a start. Marcus Thomas and Saran Stacey are the starters, but Graham will see a lot of work, as will Joe Mickles, a former Barcelona Dragon. Very versatile backfield that the Claymores have to work with. Second down, Stacey gets the call, and he's nailed this time. Juan Long stayed at home and stops him at the line of scrimmage.
And that's what you want your 3-4 to do, because Joe Johnson stopped that play. The outside linebacker giving Juan Long the time to come in and make the tackle. Classic example of good linebacker play. On the right of your screen now, there's 54 Johnson. He takes the blocker away. That leaves it open for Long to make the tackle.
Nothing doing there for Saran Stacey, who may have lost a yard. So Scottish Claymores facing third down and 7. A passing situation one would expect. Blundin does indeed drop, gets lots of time, and it's almost intercepted. Chris Crooms almost had a piece of that. Tim Barnett was the intended receiver, but that pass was never going to get to him.
Nice free safety play by Crooms, because he saw where the pass was going and he stepped into the passing lane and went up for it and nearly got it.
So, a Scottish drive splutters to a halt. Tyree Davis is the deep man for the Barcelona Dragons on the punt return. He's already had one useful return in this game. Arden Krzyzewski, who prefers kicking to punting, gets off the kick. That will bounce at around the 27 and take a nice little hop out of bounds to the 21-yard line.
And Arden was saying yesterday that one of the problems with doing both is that your leg just gets tired, because you're practicing punts and then you're practicing place kicking.
So 5.5 minutes to go, first quarter. The Scottish Claymores on top of the Barcelona Dragons by a score of 7-0 on the 19-yard pass from Matt Blundin to the danger man Alan de Graffenried. Tim Barnett in shot there, unable to come up with a big play on that occasion, but his time will come later on.
And that big beef on the Barcelona line's got to show something here. They've got to give Weldon some protection, give him some time to throw. I mean, Lewis Age, 25 stone, is his own stone age.
He certainly is. He is a monster, Lewis Age. The left tackle. On the right tackle is Chuck Bradley. There we see Mo Elewanibi, the former Washington Redskin.
And he was the Outland Trophy winner when he was in college. He's the outstanding lineman in the country. He's got 43 starts in the NFL. The other guard, Ed King, has 31 starts in the NFL. I mean, they should be able to do the job.
Well, Mo is 314 pounds. I was just about to say, Chuck Bradley is the baby of the offensive line, just 293 pounds, just under 21 stone. So first down at their own 16 for the Barcelona Dragons. Weldon drops back, gets good protection, flushed out of the pocket and gets a little dump-off pass up the middle. Lorenzo Graham coughs it up and it's recovered by the Scottish Claymores. A disaster, absolute disaster for Barcelona. Mike Brandon is in the thick of that somewhere. But it's a Claymores ball. Those big offensive linemen are all over it, but it looks like the Claymores are going to hang on to that one. Lindsay Chapman it was who coughed it up. In fact, the Dragons are saying they recovered it.
We'll see. It's one thing who went down, it's another who comes up with it.
Well, that's the key. Who's got it at the end?
Andy McCollum is signaling that it's Dragons' ball. Now, see, he's looking for the wideout who's been bumped at the line of scrimmage and doesn't have him. So he does a nice job of getting the ball away. And Chapman just coughs it up. It sputters out there.
Mikey Brandon is there, but look who's thinking of going in here. Lewis Age, number 57.
Just thinking the same thing. They've knocked the most graceful pile up you've ever seen in your life.
It's about 75 stone of Barcelona beef. It's a Barcelona first down.
And that's a break for Barcelona because that ball popped out of there like a gumball out of a machine.
And you can hear what the crowd think of that, and no doubt Jack Bicknell is equally happy, but Barcelona got a little bit lucky there. This team needs a bit of luck.
We've seen how much momentum, what a big part momentum can play in this league, how quickly it changes, especially early in the season when these guys just aren't used to playing with each other.
They could have been trouble. Instead, it's a first down at the 32. And the handoff and up the middle and picking up around 5 or 6 yards before Ricky Andrews makes the stop is Lindsey Chapman. They go straight to the man who coughed it up.
And Ed King and Andy McCollum did a nice job of opening a hole for Chapman. And that's a nice call, too, because you want to show you still have confidence in your running back.
Ricky Andrews and Darrell Lewis came up and made the stop, and there was a bit of pushing and shoving there after the play. Chuck Bradley, that small offensive lineman, the 21-stone fella, is getting involved in a bit of a shouting match. The ball at the 36, second down and 5. Casey Weldon calls a timeout.
Clock was down to 1 second. They weren't going to get that play off either.
So, timeout on the field, timeout here as well. We'll be back.
No question about it. There are times where you want to stand back and applaud when you see the great plays made by great players. And you know, on your football team, you're going to applaud a little bit harder, but you still acknowledge and you recognize great plays made by players on the opponent's football team.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
People don't do the gauntlet anymore. We are going to risk death a number of times on this trip. You're going to scream your guts out. You'll love it. Type it hard!
From the director of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Meryl Streep, Kevin Bacon. The River Wild.
Playing this month on DirecTV.
Welcome back. Second down for the Barcelona Dragons. 4.5 minutes to go. First quarter. Dragons trailing the Scottish Claymores by 7. Weldon gets a pass off to Mario Henry. The NFL's New England Patriot Darrell safety came up from his free safety position, and that will be close to first down yardage.
And Weldon audibled on that to get that ball out to Henry. He saw the 4 linebackers sitting in. He knew Henry would have an open zone on the outside and did a good job of getting the audible off before the clock ran out.
And it is indeed a first down. They're moving the chains. Jack Bicknell was saying he must establish a running game to go with the pass. So far, just 10 yards on the ground for the Dragons. They'll be looking for more than that. Weldon dropping back, good protection, puts one up in the air. He's got a man, and a trick there on Mario Henry.
And I think they're basically saying that it was an inadvertent trip.
James Williams was the man that got him. They seem to get their feet tangled up. I think we need to see another look at it.
And it was a good ball by Weldon, and Henry was there. Now, here is Mario Henry, who comes from the Patriots in the NFL. And it's just a fly. He takes the inside. He's got a step. And there it is. You see, just the feet crossing.
In fact, it was Jocelyn Borgella is the man that gets beaten on the coverage there.
Looks a little worse from that side. Could have drawn a flag if you're looking at it from that angle. But running alongside, you can see why the ref didn't throw.
Second down, they give it to Lindsey Chapman, who is not going to get anything and is pushed out of bounds for a loss. Mike Brandon stayed at home, pushed him out of bounds. Jocelyn Borgella came up and finished the job.
The lineman just couldn't get outside ahead of that of Michael Brandon, the defensive line. They've got the size. They may not have the speed.
So looking for a running play there. It didn't work for them.
They miss
Lindsey
Ricky
Chapman
Blake.
Loses a yard. They do miss Ricky Blake, you're right.
Ricky Blake is a good-sized running back, gives them a little blocking dimension from the backfield. They're trying Demetrius Davis in the H-back role to try to make up for that a bit.
Third and long, motion coming from the Dragons, Shelby Hill. Weldon dropping, pressure coming, but Weldon steps up and goes it alone, and will get a first down. Smart heads-up play from the man from Florida State, the man on loan from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And you could see what we meant about the speed of the offensive line, because as Weldon was dropping back, you saw Louis Age, who just could not keep up. Watch on the left of your screen there. He just can't keep up with Alan Young, and Weldon does a nice job because he sees all that running room and takes advantage of it. Makes sure he gets, you see Age is having all kinds of problems just trying to stay with the quickness of Young, and now Weldon knew where the first down was.
And Weldon's going up in the air, and he's got his man, and it's a touchdown. Mario Henry, the receiver, Jocelyn Borgella, the cover man. They went for him again.
And he knew where the touchdown was. It was Mario Henry. And a good job by Casey Weldon. Listen to that crowd. He's going all the way with Mario Henry. They knew they can beat Borgella. He does it again. Takes it over his shoulder, just manages to get the touchdown. Almost looked like he stepped out of bounds just before the marker.
43 yards for Cowboy Jack on that play. The extra point to come. And they're singing in Barcelona. The extra point is good. So we're tied up at 7 apiece after the 43-yard play to this man from the New England Patriots, Mario Henry. And that's made him a little bit happier here in Barcelona.
And you can see what Jack Bicknell likes to do is take advantage of that momentum. Weldon made the good play on the scramble. Let's come right back where the breakdown was the play before and see if we can do it again.
7 plays on the drive, 84 yards capped by that 43-yard touchdown pass. Another quick scoring drive, just 2 minutes 40. So both these teams have already shown they've got a little bit of big play potential. Such an important game for both of them, of course. The only teams in the World League without a win.
And remember, with that split season where the first 5 games put one team into the World Bowl, you don't want to go 0-2 at the start of that season.
Well, 0-2 means you don't host the World Bowl. It's as simple as that. Just a reminder, if you're unfamiliar with that rule, the World Bowl will be hosted by the team with the best record at the end of 5 games, and they will play the team with the best record in the second half of the season, as we see confirmation of that scoring drive. So all to play for. Weldon hit 2 of 3 for 49 yards on that drive. 16 yards on the ground. That's the kind of balance that Jack Bicknell will be looking for. De Graffenried is the man that Scotland will be hoping to get the ball here. Another good kick, and De Graffenried's coming out of the end zone and doesn't get any further than the 20-yard line before he's hit by Sean Thomas.
And those are the best kickoffs we've seen so far in the World League.
Scott Serrady, the kicker. Kicking has been a problem by and large, certainly kickoffs. Most of them have been dropping around the 10 or 15.
You put him in the end zone, a lot of good things can happen for your team.
2:39 left, first quarter. Barcelona 7, Scotland 7. And the crowd getting into it. London with the fake, looks for his man, he's got his man. A pickup of around 15 yards. Eric Turner in on the stop, but the damage already done.
Nice job by London of getting the ball to De Graffenried. Here he comes. He takes the cornerback inside. The ball's right there. Free safety doesn't even have to come up.
Alan De Graffenried really does it all. He returns, he's a receiver, and he will be used as a 6th defensive back this afternoon if Scotland need 6 DBs. Motion coming from the Claymores. First down. The handoff, and up the middle goes Marcus Thomas for maybe 2 or 3, just keeping that defense honest, stopping them thinking pass every time.
That's basically the reason why you do it. We saw De Graffenried before the game taking place kicks too. He's got a pretty strong foot.
He was booting them from around 35 yards as well, and it was sailing through there. Pickup of 4 yards on the carry from Marcus Thomas. 2nd down and 6 for the Claymores, looking to respond. De Graffenried split wide left. Motion from Barnett. And a fake handoff once again. Buys Blunden some time, and he's going for De Graffenried again, and it's almost an outstanding catch. Eric Turner stayed at home and had good coverage and certainly broke that play up.
Ball was just a little bit behind De Graffenried, and Turner did a good job of making up the ground and coming back. De Graffenried again isolated here, just blowing by Turner, and you see he just has to hold up a second. Now he's chasing it. And Turner does a good job of getting his hand up, doesn't actually hit the ball, but just disturbs the concentration enough. It was there, though, in his hands.
There's Blundin realizing that a big play had been broken up, and Eric Turner did a super job. Whistles on the field. Matt Blundin comes off. He's completed 5 of 9 for around 80 yards so far. Those are our unofficial stats.
And you see what happened on that? That was a long pass play. De Graffenried was down on the ground when the ball was put back into the line of scrimmage and the clock started. He wasn't even back in the huddle, and the clock was already down to about 11 seconds. By the time they called the play and got to the line of scrimmage, the clock was on 1, and Blundin looked up and called timeout.
Well, there we see the Dragons sideline. A pretty good crowd in here, Mike, this afternoon. The sun is shining. It's Easter, which is basically when Barcelona as a city goes on holiday, but a lot of people have turned up here. Back in years 1 and 2 of the World League, they were always the loudest and most colourful fans anywhere in the World League.
Well, it'd be a great beach day, and a lot of the city is out on the beaches today, but World League holds the all-time record for this stadium for a non-Olympic event. Almost 50,000, 49,000 for a Barcelona Dragons game against the Ohio Glory.
3rd down and 6 for the Claymores, looking to convert to keep this drive alive. Blundin drops back, has time, goes outside. He's got Tim Barnett. Mike Middleton comes up and wraps him up, but Barnett good for 1st down yardage.
And in on the tackle there was Thompson. He's playing defense now, another like De Graffenried. We've got guys going both ways in the prevent defense. Barnett's pattern took him inside as Thompson was laying off and giving him a lot of room. You see there. Now, he's not a defensive back. He doesn't want to take a chance and get beat deep.
It's Tim Barnett, the former Kansas City Chiefs player. Spent 4 years in KC. Hand off. And spinning round is Saran Stacey, who goes down under the tackle from number 51, Tommy Thigpen, the backup linebacker. Nothing doing there for Stacey.
Yeah, now Joe Johnson didn't get fooled on the delay, and he made the first hit that stopped Stacey. Stacey did a great job of breaking the tackle, and Thigpen was there to put him down.
Tommy Thigpen was drafted by the Giants in 1993. Never really had a chance to play for them. He seems to have been injured, looking to prove himself here in the World League. 2nd down and around 13, a loss of 3 after the big play from Thigpen. Blundin hands off once again up the middle to Stacey, who will pick up 5 or 6 before he's gang tackled, and that will do it as far as the 1st quarter is concerned here in Barcelona.
Line does a good job of straight ahead blocking, no fancy stuff, and Stacey's doing a nice job of getting the yardage. It's good to see that they can establish themselves on the ground this way.
So it's 7 apiece, end of the 1st quarter. We're going to take a timeout. Join us after the break.
While NFL action is still months away, the NFL has launched a new season on the internet. NFL Sidelines is an online connection to your favorite teams and players. Connect on the net with NFL fans around the world and chat live with the biggest names in football.
This movie is rated R.
Plus special coverage of the 1995 NFL Draft. The NFL moves into cyberspace with NFL Sidelines. Tackle the internet.
Catches a football, and then he has to get both feet down in bounds. It's an art peculiar to the National Football League. And
who was the best at that? Raymond Berry?
Oh, there's no question. You know, Raymond was such a gifted receiver that he spent endless hours practicing this routine of getting he called it the toe dance.
NFL Sunday Ticket, up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
Michael Jordan. To find what you desire requires a great effort. You look thirsty. Gatorade?
Thanks. I've come.
I know why you have come. You wish to know the meaning of life.
And?
Life is a sport. Drink it up.
That's what I figured.
All right, here's what we've got. We're being bombed.
I've come here to create a new country for you called chaos, and a new government called anarchy.
His name's Ryan Garrity. According to the report, the guy can build bombs out of biscuit.
Away. Now playing on DirecTV.
The crowd enjoying themselves at the Olympic Stadium here in Barcelona, where the Claymores are looking to silence this crowd on this drive that's reached the Barcelona 45. Third down, Blundin fires up the middle. He's got his man. First down, Scotland. Big play there. Tackle eventually coming in from Sean Thomas, but another big completion from Blundin to Tim Barnett.
The Claymores took advantage of Scotland sitting back in the dime. One linebacker, 6 defensive backs right underneath all 6 of them for the first down.
Unofficially, that takes Blundin over 100 yards passing on the day so far. Buys himself some time, pressure coming. Blundin unloads it, and he's picked off.
Chris Crooms read that one perfectly, and he's got some yardage.
Back out to around the 18-yard line. A big play for the Barcelona Dragons, and Chris Crooms read Matt Blundin's read all the way.
Now watch, there's Crooms right in the middle of your screen. See how he's following Blundin as he moves? Then he sees the ball, he slips, but it's right to him. You saw the receiver was there, but the ball hung up in the air. Crooms was right there. Blundin never saw the free safety.
There is the story on Chris Crooms from Texas A&M. Played with the Rams 2 or 3 years ago. So first down for the Dragons. Weldon just dumps it off up the middle to Lindsay Chapman, and the Dragons starting to smoke here. James Williams coming up on the play, but a first down for the Dragons. And when the Dragons get hot, in the past we've seen the crowd become a real factor in this stadium.
You always sense with them that they know where to go on the next play. This is designed to get the ball out there.
And a lot of running room.
Nice job by Lindsay Chapman.
So the Barcelona Dragons operating with a new man at quarterback. It's Jay Walker. The New England Patriots, we said he would get a bit of playing time, and he's come out hot. Straight away, he's got another man. He's picked up Tyree Davis, George Coghill, a strong safety, but Jay Walker has come out and stamped a bit of authority on this.
Jay Walker has a cannon of an arm. I mean, last week he threw a fastball when Cisco Marcos was expecting a changeup and knocked him over.
Drafted in 1994 by the New England Patriots. Didn't get an awful lot of playing time there from Howard, nicknamed Sky Walker. 2 passes have taken the Dragons to their own 46. Walker with good protection goes 3 for 3 with Mario Henry, his New England Patriot teammate. James Williams, or rather Jocelyn Borgella, the man they're victimizing again.
And the Patriots are going to love that because Henry ran a great pattern and Walker zipped that ball in there. That was a beauty. Point down right into Henry's hands. And watch this, Jay Walker, he started at Long Beach State and then played at Howard. Look at that ball move. Right there, easy ball to catch, a nice ball to catch. Receivers like that.
And I'll tell you something else, Mike. This is going to be a long afternoon for Jocelyn Borgella, the left cornerback of the Scottish Claymores. Walker 3 for 3. Hands off the ball. Lindsay Chapman looking for a little bit of running room. Jack Bicknell stressing the importance of doing something on the ground. Gerald Jeffcoat in on the stop.
And they got the hole open to the line of scrimmage, but not much after that, not much drive.
Jay Walker completing 3 for 3, 43 yards already. That's certainly coming in effectively. Weldon, in comparison, completed 4 of 8 for 67 with an interception in there.
Where the test will come on Walker is to see how he reads defenses and how he reacts to pressure.
2nd and 8, pressure coming. Walker dumps it off and was looking for Tyree Davis, who didn't quite get open. That wasn't far away.
Davis was calling for it, and it was a nice pass too because it was high enough so it wasn't going to be intercepted. Chapman does a nice job of blocking here. There's the man, and Chapman just stands him right up, gives Walker the time to get that one away, and he put in a nice touch on the ball.
Mark Sander, the linebacker, number 54, coming in, that ran into Lindsay Chapman.
He's giving away about 35, 40 pounds on that exchange.
Sander, the former Miami Dolphin. 3rd down and 8. Walker with time goes, he's picked off. That ball bounced up in the air, and Horace Irvine, the former London Monarch, has come down with it. They were looking for Tyree Davis.
And right off Tyree Davis's hands, take another look to see if that came a bit too hard for him maybe, but bad luck for Walker and Davis. Davis is going to come on the bottom of the screen right across the middle. He's following him all the way. Now the pass is right there. Davis just gets his hands crossed trying to catch it, and Davis does a good job of dragging down Irvin, or Irvin was long gone.
So the third interception of the afternoon, and Barcelona's problems with third downs continuing. 1 of 14 last week, 1 of 4 so far this week, and Scotland with the ball once again. First down, Claymores. Blundin hands off up the middle to Marcus Thomas, who picks up a couple of yards before he's wrapped up by Tommy Thigpen.
Don't see many counters like that in the World League. Faking the pitch outside and getting it to Thomas on the counter inside. Thomas takes the step to the left and goes right through the hole, but there wasn't much of a hole there.
So there's the story of the turnover so far. 2 interceptions for Barcelona's 2 quarterbacks, Weldon and Walker. 1 so far for Matt Blundin. Lee Williamson will get some playing time at quarterback for the Claymores. And there is Williamson, who finds Saran Stacey, who perhaps gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and then Byron Bonds from the Kansas City Chiefs came up.
And Kevin O'Brien, the outside linebacker, is the guy who read the play. He missed the first tackle, but it was enough to hold up Stacey.
Well, Lee Williamson, who's on loan from the Houston Oilers, didn't have the best of games last week. Completed 12 of 21 for 115 yards and 1 interception. But Jim Kreiner was saying to us yesterday that he will see plenty of playing time as well. Blundin certainly stole the show last week as far as the quarterbacks were concerned, but Williamson will see playing time. Third down and almost 10 for Williamson and the Claymores. Pressure coming, unblocked, and no chance at all for Williamson. Tracy Smith was the first man there, but Todd Farrell came up and finished off the job.
And they sent 6 on that. The Dragons were coming all the way. Smith lines up in a linebacker position. They're all coming, and there you see nobody picks him up. He goes for the ball, which is a good move because he knows that there's a lot of pressure on Williamson. Forces the punt.
Ken Alexander in there as well.
You see the stunts there as linebacker comes all the way around from the inside out, Ken Alexander.
So the punting unit on. Arden Krzyzewski gets it away. Tyree Davis collects at his own 23-yard line and breaks 1 tackle, stays on his feet, flag goes down. Oh, super stuff this, and they love it in Barcelona. Davis could be gone.
And that flag's going to be crucial.
Outstanding stuff from Tyree Davis, but there is a flag. "77 yards on the return, and some real fancy footwork from the man from Tampa Bay, but he just has to look and hope that it's not all called back.
And the crowd is not going to like this at all.
And it's just dawning on the crowd as the referees go back that that one is not going to stand.
And Tyree Davis got a tremendous last block from Shelby Hill. But let's take a look if we can see the penalty. Looks like it was right there with the push down to the left of your screen. But now look at the tackles he breaks there. Steps out of that one. Now that looks like a good block there. That's not the penalty. Tremendous job of breaking tackles and stepping, and that's Shelby Hill in front of him. Shelby Hill got a good last block to set him free.
Well, Jack Bicknell doesn't like the call. Not much he can do about that. Jay Walker in at quarterback. Still for the Dragons. The clock running. Walker drops, gets good protection, and throws it away. He was looking for Shelby Hill, but Jocelyn Borgella had good coverage, and Walker doing the smart thing and throwing it away.
There was some kind of problem with Charles Thompson, who's trying to line him up on the right place. I don't think they ever got the patterns they wanted.
Well, that run should certainly go on Tyree Davis's highlights film. What a pity it wasn't allowed to stand. Walker 3 for 6 now after going 3 for 3. Both these Barcelona Dragons quarterbacks struggled to find any consistency last week. Pressure coming. Mark Sander was picked off, and Walker is going down. Troy Ridgely, number 71, was in on the tackle. He got some help from Gerald Jeffcoat.
And you see Walker undecided about whether he was going to run or pass the ball. That's the decision making we were talking about. Let's see how he reacts now. Pressure's coming there. He moves. It got picked up, but he moved anyway. Didn't see the pressure on his left.
3rd and 10 from their own 17, Barcelona. Jay Walker dropping pressure coming, and it's batted up in the air. The pressure came from the outside. Brian Jones is saying that we've got the ball. Mike Brandon is holding it.
Now, he would have had to catch that in the air because it was certainly a pass.
And it would seem that that's gone down as an interception, and Jack Bicknell doesn't like it. Let's see.
Walker goes back to pass. He's certainly in the motion of passing there. And if the ball's not caught in the air, that should have been an incomplete pass, not a fumble. You see Jack Bicknell saying he was in the motion of passing. It's got to be an incomplete pass.
What a gutless call! What a gutless call!
Jack doesn't like it. Jack does not like it. 1st down, Claymores. Superb field position for Lee Williamson to work with, and Williamson going for Tim Barnett straight away. And how are they going to call that out of bounds? He only needs 1 foot. He didn't get it, and that's because Tracy Smith had superb coverage. Tracy Smith, Jack Bicknell's best defensive back, and he's still fuming.
Yeah, and I think Tracy Smith was letting him know too that he would have had a touchdown if he hadn't been there.
Hey, have a life out there. Yards coming forward. Don't give me that.
Take a look at this now. They just ride him out. Smith's got the ball, but the foot's out the end zone.
2nd down, Claymores. 7-7. 9 minutes left, first half. Motion from Stacey. Williamson drops, looks to his right, goes to his right. It was up in the air, and that's going to be picked off once again. They're playing pinball out there. It looked like it may have been Chris Crooms with his 2nd of the game.
And a good break for the Dragons, because that was a completion if the receiver doesn't slip just as the ball's thrown. You'll see right over the middle of your screen, coming from the side on the cut. He's open, but he slips right there making his cut. The ball goes up in the air, and good reaction by first the linebacker Long, and then by Crooms to pull it down. 2 for Chris Crooms.
3 Dragons turnovers, 2 Claymores turnovers. We still have nearly 9 minutes left in the first half. And perhaps justice done there. Jay Walker with the handoff and getting some running room as we try and resume normal service here in Barcelona. Ricky Blake, the former San Antonio Rider who spent a couple of years with the Dallas Cowboys and who's since been slowed with injuries. Good to see him back.
And he's still injured. I'm a little surprised to see him out there, but he didn't run like he was injured.
This fella was one of the stars of that first year of the World League. And it seemed just about everybody from the London Monarchs was getting voted to the All-World League team, but Ricky Blake was in there without any arguments from anyone. 2nd down, and Blake gets the carry once again and just bangs helmets and gets close to 1st down yardage. The tackle coming in from Darrell Lewis.
And what Ricky Blake gives to them, besides the fact that he's big at about 244 pounds, is that he gets to the hole quicker. And you see how the holes are no bigger than they were for the other backs, but he's getting to them just that half step quicker, and he's getting through the line of scrimmage.
2 plays from Ricky Blake, 2 carries, 10 yards. 1st down, Dragon. If Bicknell wants a running game, maybe this is the fella who can give it to him. They're at their own 19, and Walker dropping back to pass. Once again, he's going Jocelyn Borgella's way. He was looking for Mario Henry there, but Henry did not turn, and that was an uncatchable ball. So a breakdown in communication there between the 2 New England Patriots players.
And you see a lot of this, the teams have allocated both a quarterback and a receiver to the same team so they can have that practice together, game conditions experience together.
So after going 3 for 3, Casey Weldon has yet to complete a pass. Spread formation. 1 running back, Jay Walker, drops back, pressure coming. He gets away from the pressure, but it's still coming behind him. And Walker, well, no question about Walker's courage and commitment there, because anything could have happened. He held onto it and has actually made a few yards out of it.
He had that ball out there like a loaf of bread. It looked like somebody was going to hit him and he was going to lose it. But Jay Walker weighs about 235 pounds. He's linebacker size.
And George Coghill was coming after him like a steam train.
Hey, there's the pressure coming up the middle. Mark Sander. Brian Jones from the middle. Sander was on one. Now Jones, good speed to chase him down. Walker read the first rush from Sander, came into the rush from Jones, then did a good job of keeping ahead of him. But you got two guys there who are both linebacker size, and I think Jones is the faster.
But after all that, Jay Walker gained 9 yards. Probably frightened himself half to death.
Another crucial third down conversion for Barcelona.
Well, they won't get many shorter than this. It's a short yard for the Dragons. Walker keeps it himself and spins. He breaks a tackle, and the second effort will give Barcelona a first down.
And that's what you can do when you weigh 235 pounds. He takes the step back, not like your usual quarterback sneak, and then just pushes that bulk forward. Gets almost 2 yards. Now, here's what I was talking about. You see, he doesn't just put his head down and go forward. He takes a step backwards, looks for the hole, and then just forces himself through. He's a big guy. He can do that.
So the ball on the 31-yard line. Walker dropping pressure coming, but Walker gets away once again, and he finds his man. And that's a straightforward catch. Good catch as well to Charles Thompson, scooting down the left.
This guy's got a strong arm, and he's also got touch, because he had to put that over the defender, and he got it right into Charles Thompson's hands. I like this pass. See Walker now, he looks, he sees Thompson. Look at that. Gentle touch on that. Right over the defender, right on the sideline. 1 foot in is all you need, and that's all he needed, all he had.
25 yards from Walker to Thompson. And the Barcelona Dragons have the ball a few inches in Scotland territory.
I think we had a mix up by the receivers there. They may not have even had 7 on the line, but the receivers were still moving, trying to set up when the ball was snapped.
It is indeed against the Barcelona Dragons. We'll wait for the official verdict. So stick 5 yards on for the Barcelona Dragons.
Jack McNell on the walkie-talkie talking to the quarterback. He's got the receiver in his helmet.
Saw Dick Curl, the offensive coordinator, next to Jack McNell.
Walker's audibling because he sees the blitz coming.
And the handoff up the middle. Looks like it may have been Ricky Blake picking up maybe a couple of yards before Troy originally wrapped him up.
Line didn't get the blocking they wanted there, because what they're trying to do is, with the linebackers coming, if you can spring the back.
860, double dig, special right, 860, double dig.
There's the play.
I thought we had 7-2 on that one. Shouldn't have kept 7 up?
Second down and around 15. They don't sound like they're quite on the same page there, do they, Dick Curl and Jack Bicknell?
I thought we had 7 down.
Well, Bicknell is the head coach. He's taking responsibility. Walker goes over the middle to Demetrius Davis, who picks up around 10. It'll be shorter first down yardage. Brian Jones with a stop. But Demetrius Davis is a man that makes things happen.
They send receivers out right. They put Demetrius Davis under. You'll see him coming from the left side of your screen over the middle. There's his cut. There he is in the middle, and Walker was waiting for him. Got him right after the cut. Good call, good game.
Third and around 5 after the play. 10 yards there for Demetrius. And another tough third down coming up, and Walker almost flushed out of the pocket and throws it away, dumps it off, in fact, between 2 of his receivers.
And he had
see his frustration.
He had pressure from the linebackers up the middle. He stepped forward, and he actually had more time than he thought to get that pass away, because he had receivers coming open. A good job by Shelby Hill of coming back for the ball.
So Barcelona failed once again on third down. El Caballero looking on anxiously. Alan de Graffenried is back deep. Scott Serrady will punt to him, and de Graffenried can be so dangerous. It's a little dump kick and quite a useful one. That'll go out about around the 13-yard line. So Scotland will have a long way to go when we return after this short break.
Nice job. You have to have the talent. You've got to have the size, the speed, the talent to compete. The thing that you really can't measure is the heart. And then the other thing that you have to be made aware of as soon as you can is his ability to learn, to execute the detail of his assignment in a pressure situation.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
There's a place near you where the mountain climbers never touch the ground, where the bodies are made of iron and the bikes of titanium alloy. It's Performance Bicycle Shop with over 6,000 square feet of high-tech cycling gear. But if you go, bring a stump-jumping spirit and your Visa card. Because at Performance, they take cycling to the extreme, but they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
There's beauty in the surf and on the sand. When you join this party, you get an invitation to vote for the ultimate bikini.
Beautiful women from all over the planet. Now it's up to you. It's your job.
You make the call with... Also this month, you can see the movie that takes you behind the lines.
Oh my God.
And Behind the Behinds, a film that proves that wetter is better. Wave your cares goodbye with Bikini Squad, playing on DirecTV.
Welcome back to the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona. 4:23 left in the first half, and the Dragons and the Scottish Claymores locked up at 7 apiece. The story of the first half so far, Mike, turnovers and mistakes.
Same as every game we've done so far in the World League. Teams are moving the ball, but making mistakes at the crucial times.
But Scotland with a long way to go, the ball on their own 14-yard line. They send Saran Stacey in motion, and they give the ball up the middle to Marcus Thomas, who gets banged up just as well. He's wearing plenty of padding.
And you see what a player wears in the World League, a helmet, which keeps your head nice and safe, and if you're a quarterback, has stereo speakers in it. Shoulder pads, because you've got to do all that blocking. Rib pads, because they're going to be hitting you back. Thigh pads and knee pads for when you bang down on the turf. And a lot of guys will be wearing girdle pads to protect the hip and the tailbone.
3 yards for Marcus Thomas, brings up 2nd down and 7. Claymores all tied up, once again spinning and getting good pressure up the middle. Joe Johnson stayed at home, but Saran Stacey.
See Tim Ryan downfield, that whole Scottish line is firing out well, and Saran Stacey looks like what they were expecting from him at the start of the season.
Well, there's the numbers on Stacey so far. They say potentially he is the best running back in the league if they can give him a line to run behind.
That's right, and the line seems to be working together pretty well now.
First down after the pickup of 8 yards from Stacey. Williamson still in at quarterback, gets himself some time. He's got a man outside. It's Lorenzo Graham who runs into Mike Middleton after a pickup of around 8 yards.
And that one was designed straight out to get the ball to the tight end, which is what they did. Williamson looking for Chandler all the way out.
Dwayne Chandler, the tight end, making the catch. His 3rd catch of the afternoon. Second down, motion from the Claymores. Darryl Mitchell straight up the middle and close to first down yardage. In fact, that will be a first down. Juan Long made the stop on number 43, Joe Mickles, a former Barcelona Dragon.
Joe Mickles with a lot of straight ahead power, running behind Dennis Dalkey and Tommy Holliday on the right side of that Scotland line. I'll tell you, the English fans often say, British fans often say, well, why do they wear all those pads? Rugby players don't need the pads. Well, ask Tommy Holliday when he's trying to block Chucky Johnson, all 285 pounds of him, why he's wearing shoulder pads.
There's Juan Long, fired up. The inside linebacker. 2 minutes left in the first half. Another 2-minute warning after this. Williamson with the fake, but pressure coming, and Williamson has to get out of bounds and will lose 3 or 4 yards. Good pursuit from the Barcelona Dragons, and that will be the 2-minute warning. We'll take another short break. Join us in just a couple of moments.
Chicas más guapas.
Pass. And then as the play unfolds, you follow it. If it's a running play, you go to the point of attack, knowing what we have to get done in order to make the play successful. If it's a pass play, as the quarterback goes back, then I immediately transfer my attention to the coverage down the field, because the coverage then dictates what the quarterback does with the football.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
I know a place where the girls are naked all the time.
Will you take your clothes off for $103.62? Oh!
What started out
Show me yours and I'll show you mine.
as a little day trip
Who is she? She's Brad's new math tutor.
turned into the adventure
What are you doing? I'm staying for a while.
of a lifetime.
This is a woman.
Melanie Griffith, Ed Harris,
Which brings us to sex.
Milk Money. Playing this month on DirecTV.
There's the cheerleaders getting into it, getting the crowd into it. Forza Dragons. Normally this, a soccer town of course, but very much American football this afternoon. And Barcelona doing a pretty solid job here of holding the Claymores. 7 apiece with 2 minutes left, but the Claymores looking to try and go into the halftime locker room ahead. Tim Barnett goes in motion. Williamson drops. Got time, goes over the middle and finds Barnett, and that's a big, big play for the Scottish Claymores. Eric Lindstrom, number 50, came in and made the stop, but around 27 yards on the pickup, and they're at their hurry-up offense with the clock continuing to run.
And in this league, a hurry-up offense is a good thing to have. Williamson's asking for the play. See, the clock's now already down to 18. If you don't have that play in his ears right away, he's going to have trouble getting it off. Won't have time. He's trying the audible now.
First down at the 36. The clock continuing to run. Williamson getting pressure from the outside. Eric Lindstrom. The flag comes down late. Eric Lindstrom, one of the original Barcelona Dragons, number 50, came in and broke that up, but flags after the play. And that's going to hurt the Scottish Claymores.
That's a tough call, and Williamson will see from the other side, since his back was to us, if he actually tried to throw the ball away or if Lindstrom simply stripped him of it. But they did the same. The Dragons did the same thing they did in the last time, showing blitz. This time they came. The pressure came from the right with Lindstrom, and I really don't think he was throwing the ball. I really think Lindstrom just knocked it out of his hand.
Since the foul occurred further than 10 yards,
Dragons having some problems here getting players on and off the field.
A loss of down on the play brings up second down and 25. Barcelona call a timeout.
They had to take that timeout because they actually only had 10 players on the field. They had a lot of confusion. First they had 12, 2 guys went off, nobody came back on.
2 MVPs.
So a minute 14 left, first half. Lee Williamson goes back to his sideline. Jack Bicknell pacing up and down on his sideline.
And in this kind of situation, taking a timeout is about the last
Hey, when
thing
you're
the
injured, we
Barcelona
got to know what's going on.
Jack Bicknell. Well, it's he's obviously trying to put
back up,
the disappointment of last week behind him.
What do you got?
This week so far, the Amsterdam Admirals, who beat the Barcelona Dragons last week, well, they edged another one. They beat the Frankfurt Galaxy 14-12. And in a game you may have seen live on Sky on Saturday night, the London Monarchs came from 7 down early to destroy the Rhine Fire, 23-7, in a game that, Mike, you and I were both very impressed with.
It took that second wake-up call, the first touchdown by Rhine, to get London moving, but once they did get moving, they moved.
The Claymores can't stop the clock. Barcelona have 1 timeout left, a minute 14 remaining. Ball close to midfield, pressure coming. Williamson goes up high and looks for his favourite receiver, which is Alan de Graffenried. Eric Turner had coverage, but I'm not sure that was a catchable ball.
Pressure came from O'Brien. Williamson leading de Graffenried by a lot, and de Graffenried was open. Does a good job of getting himself open. It's working man on man, but the safety's going to come over to help. He's got Turner beat there, but the pass hangs up. He's trying to get under it, but it also drifts out of bounds.
Well, they have to go long in this situation. 3rd down and 25.
Time clock's going to run.
The clock is running. Williamson rolls out to his left, and he's got his man, but he can't get out of bounds. De Graffenried gets past and he can't stop the clock. Eric Turner was there, but they gave him the soft one, and it's well short of first down yardage. Chances are at the 36-yard line, they really have nothing to lose, Mike, but to go for it, with the clock continuing to run at 40 seconds.
They don't really have the leg to try the first 4-point field goal that we'd see in the World League. No reason not to go for it at this point.
4 wide receivers as the Scottish Claymores look to put it in the end zone. 25 seconds and counting.
Williamson's telling the receivers what pattern he wants them to run. I think they're just going to let the clock go now, deciding not to run it at all. They'll take the penalty.
They'll take a 5-yard. There goes the flags. That'll be a 5-yard delay of game, which really is academic. It stopped the clock, and it allows the Claymores to work out exactly what they want to do.
And Krzyzewski's coming on to punt. So what they really want to do is to get an extra 5 yards for Krzyzewski to give him some room to punt for the corner.
Well, with 15 seconds left, Barcelona do have 1 timeout remaining. But Krzyzewski doesn't enjoy punting, by his own admission. And I think Lee Williamson, talking to offensive coordinator Doug Williamson, I don't think he was too impressed with that call.
Punt save!
No, I think he would have rather have gone for it at that point. And really, I mean, a 53-yard field goal attempt, if you miss, unfortunately, the other team gets the ball back at the 36-yard line, which is where the ball is now.
Charles Thompson is the deep man for Barcelona. Demetrius Davis is back there as well. Just a little dump straight into the end zone. Just to the side.
That's exactly what they want, though. They wanted to put the ball inside the 10 if they could. The referee's going to spot at the 12. They'll take that. 88 yards for Barcelona to go in the last 10 seconds.
With 1 timeout remaining. So there's El Caballero sending in the play. So popular here in Barcelona, really has become a local hero, and became a local hero almost overnight, Mike. Within the first 2 or 3 weeks of that first season, they loved him.
Well, he's got such a good attitude about being here. He loves the country and the people. He's got such a relaxed attitude toward his team and getting them into preparation, and he's always willing to take time and explain the game and his team to the local fans.
Jay Walker staying in at quarterback. Shelby Hill goes in motion. Walker with time goes over the middle, finds Mario Henry, and 2 seconds left. They can't stop the clock. They do stop the clock with 1 second left. George Coghill came in and made the stop, but the 2 New England Patriots managing to hook up there, and they used their last timeout in just the nick of time.
Last charge timeout.
Let's hear what Jack Bicknell says here. He's not saying a lot.
Just
Jack.
when you wanted him to talk to.
Come on, Jack.
Now,
talk to
Jack
us.
Bicknell, when he was coaching at Boston College, was one of the great Hail Mary coaches of all time. You remember Doug Flutie's famous Hail Mary down in the Orange Bowl against Miami. And with Jay Walker, he's got the guy who's got the arm to hurl the ball into the other end zone if they want to send all the receivers deep for it.
Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
The information that he needs from Dick Curl and Jack Bicknell. 60 yards between the Barcelona Dragons and a touchdown.
I tell you, this guy 60 yards, nothing for him.
Mario Henry goes wide right. Tyree Davis wide left. Those are the 2 danger men. They have 2 other receivers in as well. And the crowd's silent. And he's going for Mario Henry, and it almost came off. There was double coverage. Jocelyn Borgello was there, but that was not far away.
I said he's always had good luck with the Hail Marys, and that was a Hail Mary and a half.
A good first half. Just 7 points apiece, but both teams recovering well after making a few early mistakes. So it's 7 apiece here in Barcelona. Let's go back to the studio and find out what our guests made of it with Gary O'Reilly.
While NFL action is still months away, the NFL has launched a new season on the internet. NFL Sidelines is an online connection to your favorite teams and players. Connect on the net with NFL fans around the world and chat live with the biggest names in football.
This movie is rated R.
Plus special coverage of the 1995 NFL Draft. The NFL moves into cyberspace with NFL Sidelines. Tackle the internet.
And to this reporter, it's obvious that these strike negotiations are going nowhere fast.
Well, I've had just about enough. Let's go.
Excuse me.
Love the shoes.
What were we thinking? After you. No, after you.
Life is good. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Our work here is done.
Play ball.
I think the initial hit is still pretty much coached the same way, in that you have to approach him facing the numbers and then wrap him up, and then if he slides one way or the other, it becomes an arm tackle. But you're also taught to get in there and to try to strip the ball carrier of the football. And I think defensive coaches are stressing that more and more.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
The moon is rising. The passion is growing. The animal is out. Nicholson. Pfeiffer.
Don't look so scared.
Wolf, playing on DirecTV.
Thank you very much indeed. Welcome back to Barcelona. Just about ready to get the third quarter underway. One score each in the first half. Quite a half-time show here as well, which the fans here certainly enjoyed. There's the story of the first half. De Graaf and Reed with a 19-yard pickup, and Mario Henry, a 43-yarder to cancel that one out. Mario Henry has been the big play man as far as the Barcelona Dragons has been concerned. 4 catches for him for 91 of those 124 passing yards. Not much in it in terms of numbers. Barcelona with a slight edge, but they have turned the ball over once more. De Graaf and Reed, Dwayne Chandler and Tim Barnett, 3 catches each in the first half, but Mario Henry 4 for Barcelona. Certainly Scotland spreading it around a lot more. And the ball has fallen off the tee.
And just before we came back, Jack Bicknell was still talking to the officials about that call in the second quarter down by the goal line. I think the interesting thing right now will be to see which quarterback comes out and plays in the second half for each team. I'd guess it's Blunden and Walker.
We're underway. And another very shallow kick fielded at around the 27-yard line by Charles Thompson, who doesn't get too much further before he's wrapped up. And out come the Scottish Claymores. 7 apiece.
That kickoff was almost as high as a punt, which can be dangerous if you've got a quick guy like Charles Thompson playing up there that far on the kickoff return team.
Casey Weldon returns for the Barcelona Dragons.
Guess my guess was wrong.
Well, no one's perfect, Mike. Well, Jack Bicknell, pre-game, was talking about the importance of establishing the run. He's run the ball 12 times. First down, and straight away they go to Henry for his 5th catch of the game. A pickup of 5 yards on the quick out pattern. 12 carries for 52 yards. I think Jack will be happy with that.
It's exactly what they wanted to do, what we said at the top of the show that they needed to do, and they're doing it. You see Casey Weldon think, well, Jay Walker had a lot of success with Mario Henry. Let's keep going that way.
And they're not wasting too much time here. 3 wide receivers for Barcelona. The single back, and it's the back that gets the call. Charles Thompson is wrapped up after a pickup of a couple. That'll bring him up short of first down yardage. James Williams, number 22, was in there. So too was Troy Ridgely. And so a 3rd down for Barcelona. And this is the area, Mike, where they've had so much trouble.
Right, and they had the first down there, and I think you'll see Alan Young came across really well to close down what was a big hole for Charles Thompson.
Come on, dude.
3 wide once again for the Dragons. Weldon looks to his right, and it was almost broken up, but it's... In fact, Jocelyn Borgella is running away with it, but Mario Henry is saying he had the ball. But that was very close to a big play for Borgella.
Very, very close indeed. I think what Borgella is saying is that he wrestled the ball away from Henry, but I'm sure it hit the ground in between there for an incompletion. Dangerous pass. Weldon sort of telegraphed that one away, and it didn't zip out there. They were just going for the first down. Now from the end zone, the pass is going to go in the right, just a quick out. The ball's there pretty well, actually. Borgella, see, he says it doesn't hit the ground, but I think it did as it was going down.
An incomplete pass brings out Scott Zarady. And he gets off a fairly low kick, which De Graaf and Reed can't quite read, and it takes a nice hop. And De Graffenried picks it up at the 2 and looks to turn the corner, but doesn't get too far before Chris Crooms comes up and pushes him out of bounds. And De Graffenried may have been better to leave that one alone so that they could have had a touchback at the 20.
Could have been a lot of trouble there. He was afraid, I think, if he left it alone, that some of the coverage was going to come down and down it inside the 5. He managed to get the ball outside the 10 to the 13, so overall not a bad move by De Graffenried.
Matt Blundin, as we expected, returns. Those are his numbers from the first half. Started off very hot through that interception as well. Chris Crooms picked off Blundin once. He then came and picked off Lee Williamson as well. So first down from the 13 for the Scottish Claymores. And Blundin draws some of the Barcelona defensive lineman offside. Possibly Byron Bonds makes the stop on Marcus Thomas, but a flag goes down, and certainly there was movement on that Barcelona line.
And you're right, I think he drew Victor Hall off, Nick.
Well, we talked a lot about Mario Henry, and he's certainly been the key receiver on the game. There's offside against the defense. There we are.
Still first down.
Victor Hall. But really, Scotland have 2 guys that they're looking to get in there, and they're spreading it fairly equally between De Graffenried and Barnett.
And that's a good average per catch for both those guys.
First down and 5 after the offside. Barnett in motion. Blundin fakes the handoff, and he's looking for Barnett and got him over the middle, but Barnett couldn't hang on to it, and that's one that Tim Barnett may think he should have had.
Just a little deflection, I think, broke his concentration on it. He's kicking himself right there. You see, it's a good fake. Just a tip. Hits him in the chest.
Mike Middleton, number 22, is the man that just got a fingertip to it, and that proved to be enough. Second down and 5. They stay with Barnett and De Graffenried. De Graffenried wide left, Barnett wide right. Pressure coming, but Blundin manages to get it off, but he can't find De Graffenried. And Chris Crooms, who's having a superb game at free safety.
Now this is what they say De Graffenried needs to work on, is his routes over the middle. This is where you know you're going to get hit. And you wonder if he's not just looking for that hit as the ball comes through.
Well, that is why Alan De Graffenried was sent to the World League, to work on his routes.
By the Kansas City Chiefs, which is where Blundin, of course, plays as well.
Third down, and he goes the other way, and was that trapped? Tim Barnett, and they're ruling it an incomplete pass. It did look like it hit the ground first of all. Tracy Smith saw it that way. Tim Barnett doesn't enjoy it, but I don't think he can object at that call.
A little bit of trash talking going on there. Barnett doesn't like it. Blundin took a tremendous hit after he let go of that ball, almost just as he let go of the ball, but he's okay. He's up and running.
Let's go, man.
So Tim Barnett not happy at all, but I must admit that seemed to take a bounce before it got to him. So out comes Arden Krzyzewski from the University of Florida. Doesn't enjoy punting. Gets that one off. Tyree Davis rather, cannot get a return on that one. He'd already brought one back all the way. That was called back, but nothing doing for him there at all.
Corus Irvin right on, sorry, not Corus Irvin, Jocelyn Borgella right on top of him to make that tackle.
Borgella having a busy afternoon. They've certainly tried to victimize him once or twice, but he's come up with a couple of big plays already this half.
Well, the book on Borgella was that he wasn't really a top athlete to go for deep coverage, and they're taking advantage of that. Good instincts breaking up the run from the corner, but going deep on the one-on-one coverage was always his problem.
First down to the Barcelona Dragons. Weldon, a lot of protection, but it's just batted at the line of scrimmage, and that one drops incomplete. So Weldon frustrated there. The crowd certainly enjoying this game. It's been absorbing all along. Mike Brandon, I think, was the man that got the tip. And the crowd were enjoying it pre-game as well. Always plenty for the fans to do. This little fella, I think, may have a future as a Barcelona Dragon in about 10 years' time. Jack Bicknell will be watching this with interest, Mike.
That looks a lot like you heading for that buffet table at breakfast this morning, Nick.
Second down and 10 coming up for the Barcelona Dragons. Back to business. Weldon, deep drop, pressure comes from both sides. Weldon gets it off, and the receiver did well to bat that one away. That was a dangerous pass. James Williams had a bead on an interception, and it was batted away by the receiver.
And it's that Young and Brandon combination coming from those two ends, making the pressure.
Jocelyn Borgella, in fact, it was that was the receiver. There's a bit more action. There's the Dragon ride, a bit like being the Barcelona Dragons quarterback sometimes as well. When that big old line lets some guys through, which hasn't happened too much tonight this afternoon. Weldon feels the pressure. A flag goes down.
Nice job by Casey Weldon to come up and get that pass through, close to first down yards, but could be a holding
Davis
call.
with the catch, but a flag came down very early. And it is indeed holding against Barcelona Dragons. Ricky Andrews came up and made the tackle. We haven't heard a lot from Ricky Andrews this game. He made a lot of plays from his outside linebacker position for the Scottish Claymores last week.
You'll find he's dropping back into the pass coverage an awful lot. Ricky Andrews is a guy, interestingly, we talk about the clock a lot. Well, he's played the last 2 seasons up in Canada where they use a 20-second clock. He says this is nothing. This is easy for him.
Hey, Ernie, if that was a 34 front, we would have eagled that, though, right?
This isn't going to be so easy for the Barcelona Dragons. They have a third down and around 20.
Go ahead, 850 flood. You got formation.
There's the play. Sent in from the sidelines. Third down and a bunch. Mario Henry comes out wide to the right. They've got Tyree Davis. They've got both their dangerous receivers lined up to the right-hand side. Shelby Hill is on the left. Movement at left tackle. The big man, Lewis Age.
Hey, seriously, man, those guys are out. We'll just go.
Lewis Age virtually stood up out of his stance. And the call goes against...
5 yards, still third down.
There's the call against Big Lewis.
Come on, D!
So from 3rd and 20, Barcelona's problems piling up. 3rd and 25. That's their 5th penalty of the afternoon so far, the Dragons. Weldon. Pressure coming from both sides. Weldon puts it up in the air. And again, a tangle of bodies. He was looking for Tyree Davis. Pretty good coverage. That pass was never going to be complete. Jocelyn Borgella stuck to his man like glue on that occasion.
And they're just sending them deep on this one, trying to open up some room, and Weldon laying the ball out there for Davis to run under it, but Borgella's one step ahead of him.
Jack doesn't like it.
Son of a bitch.
I guess not.
I think Jack is less than impressed. Bad kick from Scott Zarady. Fair catch called for at the 39-yard line. So it's still 7 apiece. 11:41 left, third quarter. We'll be back.
Competition that you have in the game, and that's what attracted me to the game. You have to be physical, you have to have great athletic ability, and you have to know what you're doing. There's a mental aspect of the game that's so very important to you. So I think that this, more than anything else, has attracted me to football more so than other sports.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
Hey, 49er fans. Your team just completed a record-breaking season. Player of the Year Steve Young and Jerry Rice paced the league's best offense, while Deion Sanders tightened up the D. Together, they won an unprecedented 5th Super Bowl. So, 49er fans, what do you do for an encore?
We're going all the way to
The official 49ers championship video is available now.
There's a place in the Big Apple where New Yorkers rush to be on the cutting edge. It's Jean-Louis David, a touch of Paris right in the middle of Manhattan. So if you're looking for a new you, drop in anytime at any of their locations. You don't need an appointment, just your Visa card. Because when it comes to your hair and Jean-Louis David, American Express just won't cut it. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Word is, you're the best.
Sylvester Stallone.
You think the killing is gonna make everything all right?
Sharon Stone.
Little danger never killed anybody.
I'm sorry. Should I have knocked?
James Woods, Eric Roberts.
Waste him.
And Rod Steiger.
I give the orders.
In the most explosive movie you'll see this year.
I'm breathless with anticipation.
The Specialist.
Playing on DirecTV.
The Sagrada Familia in the heart of the city of Barcelona. One of the most extraordinary architectural structures you'll find anywhere in the world. Still unfinished after the architectural work from Gaudi, and I understand it is going to be finished one day, but possibly not in our lifetimes, Mike.
They can finish the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, they can finish Sagrada Familia.
Well, from one extreme to the other there, architecturally speaking. The Claymores with a first down at their own 40. Matt Blundin staying in at quarterback, fakes the handoff to Marcus Thomas. Barcelona don't buy it. Saran Stacey can't hold it, and Pau Cole, number 31, a Spanish player, comes up and makes the coverage. Good play from him. He's the fastest player in Spain, this fella. Speaks a lot of languages. And a real Spanish hero.
He's done a 4.55 40, plays for the L'Hospitalet Pioneers, which is L'Hospitalet, a city just next door to Barcelona here, and does virtually everything in the Spanish league.
And a Dragon in 92, but didn't play. He played then. Second down and 10 for Blundin. Good protection. Blundin's got a man, and it's wide open, and a pickup of around 27 yards. Eric Turner eventually made the stop, but de Graaf and Reed hurt them again.
And when you give them the time like that, these receivers are going to hurt you deep. A long curling pattern from de Graaf and Reed and a holding.
That'll hurt you as well.
Down on the line of scrimmage is going to nullify that play.
Let's see if we can find out who that's against. But Pau Cole, we saw there coming on for the Barcelona Dragons, one of 7 national players, not all of them Spanish. As you can see, they've raided Europe. And the fellow we should really look out for is Vladimir Ilic.
Holding.
Pau Cole and Cisco Marcos are the guys who will play. And certainly the call goes against Tim Ryan, the injured left guard.
Ilic, born in Berlin of Yugoslav parents, plays for the Hamburg Blue Devils, and he's actually seen a lot of playing time in the first game, not so much here today.
And we should watch out for Ivan Imbanon, number 66. There's Pau Cole. Second down and 20, and a lot of movement once again. Flags coming in. Kevin O'Brien certainly moved, number 91, but whether he was drawn by Tommy Holiday, we'll have to wait and see.
What O'Brien did was actually draw Holiday into motion by faking that he was coming across the line. Holiday saying he actually did step over the line.
Well, this is a revamped, reshuffled Claymores offensive line. We saw Tim Ryan drawing a flag earlier on as Pau Cole watches from the sideline, and whether O'Brien managed to get Holiday to move.
Number 91 defense.
Call's going against
yards,
O'Brien.
Still second down.
It looked like he was just simply giving the fakes to Holiday, trying to get him to move, but he must have stepped over the line, and Holiday reacted to that.
Smart play from Tommy Holiday. That brings it 5 yards further back. Scotland now then with a first and 15, and London with a handoff up the middle and nothing doing at all. Byron Bonds made that a painful experience with some help from Chucky Johnson. Saran Stacey, not much doing for him there. They talk about these fellas as good run stuffers, and I think now we know why.
Right, they don't get the pass rush from that inner 3 that they really would like, but they do the job against the run, especially Bonds, who takes up a lot of room there in the middle at 315. It's why they've got Victor Hall playing on the end, even though he's not really a polished defensive end. He was a tight end in college.
Third and 15. 4 receivers in for the Scottish Claymores. Blundin drops back, plenty of time, no pass rush at all. Blundin's got all day, and eventually he goes to Dwayne Chandler, whose second effort may have brought him a first down. Joe Johnson, one of 2 players who had a shot at Chandler, but smart play from, in fact, it's not Chandler, it's Lee Harris, number 88, and he gets the first down. Lee Harris's first action, and how important that proved to be.
And it's the protection that makes this, because Blundin doesn't have anybody open, but he drifts over, keeps drifting, and now he's moving to his left and throwing to his right, still gets a good pass away. Barcelona sticking in that man-to-man coverage.
Big play there for Scotland. 9.5 minutes left, third quarter, still tied up at 7 apiece. The handoff, not a lot doing. A crowd drawn. Ken Alexander, the first man there. and some over-exuberance from the Barcelona Dragons. Chris Crooms, the free safety, thinks he's got another big play.
And I think he might have ripped the ball away before the man actually went down, because the carrier went down on a pile of bodies. A good job by Eric Lindstrom of stacking the blockers up there, which allowed Alexander to make the tackle.
But Chris Crooms, number 25 here, has got 2 interceptions to his name. There's Ken Alexander, another one of their key defensive players.
Alexander, very good, intelligent linebacker out of Florida State. Not especially athletic, which is why he's working on his pass coverage here in the World League right now. Tremendous run stopper.
2nd and 10. 4 men on the line for the Dragons. Blundin drops, good pass protection once again. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, but he rolls and he's got his man on his knees. Was Dwayne Chandler, the tight end, but Chandler picks up 15 yards and a 4th catch of the afternoon for the big man from the University of Kansas, Mike Middleton, on the stop.
And a good job by Chandler of making that catch. Blundin again rolling out of the pocket, and Tommy Holiday having all sorts of trouble with Chucky Johnson. Really lucky not to get a holding call. Watch on the right side. You see Chucky pulls Chucky Johnson down there. Could have had the call for holding.
No, you got a right call.
And Chandler, who's fallen down, makes the catch anyway, gets back up to pick up an extra couple of yards.
1st down. Barcelona showing blitz, and they hand it off to Marcus Thomas, who picks up 3 or 4 yards up the middle, and there's a bit of argy-bargy going on. Chucky Johnson getting involved there at the top of the screen with number 69, Dennis Dalker, the right guard.
And we saw Scotland getting some good firing out from that offensive line in the 2nd quarter. They don't seem to be getting that same kind of drive this time. Maybe Barcelona's linebackers coming alive, keeping them off a bit. Barcelona still, however, not getting the kind of pass rush that they would like to get. Ishmael, the center, seems to be limping as well.
Same with that 4-man front. Marcus Thomas gets the ball once again and picks up yardage after breaking a tackle. Good 2nd effort. Juan Long in on the stop, but a good play once again from Marcus Thomas. Quiet but effective.
And you see the way that defense designed by Red Kellen, the defensive coordinator, works, because they got through the line of scrimmage, but Juan Long did a nice job of sliding over from middle linebacker to make the stop.
Vladimir Ilic, the Berliner, was in on that play as well. He's now checked out to go back onto the sidelines. 3rd down and around 3. Blundin with a lot of time. He's got a man. And 1st down yardage for Tim Barnett, who spun around and picked up 5 or 6 extra yards, the former Kansas City Chief. Barnett, Long again.
Barnett, a quality possession receiver. He hangs on to the ball even when he's hit. With that spinning move, gets an extra 5. See, Barnett will be on the top of your screen. Blundin looking for him all the way. Right there. Hangs on to the ball. When he catches it, hangs on the spin move. Keeps spinning for more yardage.
1st down. Barcelona looking to hold Scotland here. Pressure coming from the outside, but Blundin, smart play, picks up 2 or 3 yards. Victor Hall, number 98, the converted tight end, was trying to get a hold of him, but Blundin just too fast.
And they were about to cut Victor Hall when somebody remembered that he'd played arena football last year in Tampa for Larry Kuharich, and in arena you have to go both ways. So they said, hey, Victor, ever played defensive end? Let's give it a shot.
See the play clock rolling behind Jim Kreiner there, the Claymores head coach. Former Sacramento Surge assistant coach.
Head coach at Boise State out in Boise, Idaho.
A couple of yards for Matt Blundin. The handoff to Marcus Thomas, who's looking to turn the corner and cuts inside and gets good 1st down yardage. And Marcus Thomas on this drive is building up quite a head of steam.
They ran right at Victor Hall that time and pushed him way out of the way, which opened up a lot of room for Marcus Thomas. Now watch on the left of your screen. They banged Victor Hall off the line. The linebacker was moving inside, so they kept him out of the way. Tommy Thigpen, and a good gain for Marcus Thomas.
And they're bringing up the chains, and it looks like it's a 1st down. This 1st down has been signaled by the officials. So Scotland, who haven't scored since the opening quarter.
That's as good as 35. No, they're not. We're not getting movement up front. You know, they're not running.
Doug Williams on the left, Jim Kreiner on the right. 1st and goal from the 7 for Scotland, looking to go ahead. 5:09 left, 3rd quarter. And they They give it to Marcus Thomas once again, and Thomas gets inside the 1 and is tackled by Chris Crooms. There you see Andy Meikle, number 84, one of the Scottish players on the team, a wide receiver, but Thomas is really working this Barcelona defense.
This is that same counter we saw in the first half. He fakes the pitch, and you see a nice block by Dalkey, the guard, to open up that hole. Dalkey hesitating, then coming down and trapping the lineman in between. It worked that time. It didn't work the first time.
The ball inside the 1-yard line. 11 plays on this drive from their own 40, and this Scotland's most impressive drive since they scored. Second down and inches. They give it to Saran Stacey, and Stacey is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he's got in. Quan Long, number 59, the first man there. He got some help, but a huge play from the inside linebacker.
Really fast reactions by Quan Long. He was stood up first by the outside linebacker. The Hill will take a look. Stacey's moving off tackle now. Now, there's the stunting linebacker, Thigpen, and there's Long following up, along with Middleton, who comes up from strong safety really fast. They caught them on the right stunt there.
Third and even fewer inches. Blunden, there's some confusion there, and Blunden's got the ball and is in big trouble, and the ball is stripped, and Barcelona have recovered. Tracy Smith came up with a huge defensive play for the Dragons.
And Jack Bicknell, just like on offense, Jack Bicknell likes to take chances on defense. He's sending the men in, stunting, and it worked 2 plays in a row. Taking an angle. If they guess wrong, they can get beat, but both times they got away with it.
So, still 7-all here. We'll be back.
There are those who go flat out just for the fun of it, and those who don't. When you go after it like this, you work up a thirst. Now, how you choose to quench that thirst depends on the answer to this simple question. Are you a man or a mouse? Hey, life is a sport. Drink it up.
The day that I stop getting nervous or anxious before a football game is the day that I'm going to hang them up, because in this business, when you start taking things in stride, there's somebody that's going to be out there that maybe gets a little more nervous or a little more anxious or have more anxieties, and they're going to beat you.
NFL Sunday Ticket, up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
When men do evil.
Who's there?
When the world is in danger.
Report.
Police investigation of murder.
And when the adventure begins. Who knows where it will end? Alec Baldwin. The Shadow.
Playing on DirecTV.
Welcome back. Scotland's problems last week. They couldn't score from inside their opponent's 10, and it's hurt them once again.
And you see on the play that the 2 guys stunting, Thigpen 51 and O'Brien 91, force Blunden to the outside. Tracy Smith had no receiver on his side, so he just came right after him. Big loss, big turnover, and again, Scotland can't score when they get in near the goal.
First down and 10 from their own 5. Casey Weldon gives the ball to Lindsay Chapman, who picks up some running room behind a blocker. Picks up around 6 yards. Tim Brown, the linebacker, made the stop.
And this is what you want to do when your back's to your own goal, is to get the ball on the ground and get it out of that problem area.
There's Lindsay Chapman's story, a free agent with the New York Jets last year. Like so many of these World League players, very close to making it in the NFL. And Chapman once again running behind his blockers. Barcelona's line looking to do some work as they try to establish that running game. That will be close to first down yardage depending on where the ball is spotted. George Coghill, the strong safety, made the stop.
We said the priority for Barcelona was establishing the running game. It's what they seem to be doing right now when it counts the most.
And they've got Chapman, they've got Thompson, they've got Ricky Blake, who's got an ankle problem. If he was fully fit, they'd have no problem at all. Casey Weldon drops the ball. I think he's landed on that. A fumble snap, and we haven't seen too much of that in the World League.
Centers and quarterbacks doing a good job communicating right from the start of play here in the World League. Casey Weldon with a more traditional kind of quarterback sneak, burrowing through.
Looks like Pau Cole may have checked into the lineup, or perhaps Cisco Marcos. Casey Weldon staying in at quarterback. Time continuing to run here in the third quarter. 7-all. But this one has held our attention right from the opening drive.
And the time clock has expired, so we'll have a delay of game penalty.
We have no foul on the play. Reset the 25-second clock, please.
Oh, well.
The referees started the clock too early, and they've recognized the fact. So they get a restart now for Barcelona.
Shelby Hill and Mario Henry wide left for Casey Weldon. Tyree Davis wide right, and they give it up the middle to Lindsey Chapman, who doesn't fool the cover man, who I think may have been Mark Sander. Not much doing there. In fact, Coghill came up. It was Sander, the former Miami Dolphin.
Sander doing a nice job of reading draw when Chapman set up to block and then took the handoff. Came up quick, made the tackle.
Pickup of 1, maybe 2 for Lindsey Chapman. Second down and quite a way to go for Barcelona. Still looking to establish the run. Haven't put it up in the air yet on this drive. Weldon drops back. He'll air it now. Pressure coming. He gets the big man, Demetrius Davis, who is wrestled down by Darrell Lewis, who did a good job there because that was a physical mismatch, and Lewis hung on to big Demetrius.
And that's the advantage of using Davis at the H-back spot. He's a big guy. The strong safety is taking the tight end. And Demetrius Davis from the left side, right across, just a simple move, bumps off the linebacker. And a good job by the free safety, Darrell Lewis, to come up quick and make the tackle. Bulldogging him.
But here it is once again for Barcelona, third down time, and this is where they've had so much trouble. They've switched to put Davis out to the right-hand side. Weldon stays in the pocket, dumps it off to Lindsey Chapman, and Chapman can't go anywhere because Brian Jones stayed with him, and they failed to convert third down once again.
And Brian Jones, the middle linebacker, doing a good job on that mismatch because he gives away a lot of speed to Lindsey Chapman, but he got right on him as the ball came in there. And same story now. Barcelona can't convert the third down. Scotland can't convert the touchdowns.
So Scott Zarady will be looking to get the punt away before the third quarter comes to an end. And he will just about do that. And the deep men are Saran Stacey and Alan de Graffenried, who picks it up and goes over his own 40, but not much further. Big special teams play coming in from Eric Turner. And that will do it for the third quarter. We're still tied up at 7 apiece. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back after this.
I think everybody now acknowledges the fact that Jerry Rice does so many things. He catches the ball, he can get deep, he catches the ball short, he can break tackles, he can run away from tacklers, he can get the ball into the end zone. He makes the big play in the big game.
NFL Sunday Ticket, up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
Get set for action because all this month DirecTV delivers the hard-hitting, high-flying hits you want. First, take a trip with Mickey and Mallory, two lovers with a dark side that sparked a media frenzy and left the nation in a state of shock. It's Oliver Stone's ode to our times. Natural-born killers, then shift into high-action gear with the unstoppable Arnold Schwarzenegger, a super spy on a secret mission to save not only the world, but also his marriage. True Lies. These hits will blow you away all month on DirecTV.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Welcome back, ready to start the fourth quarter here in Barcelona, where life can be a beach.
And you know, even though it's such a nice day, Bank Holiday Monday, official attendance 16,500, and I tell you, people are finishing that Sunday lunch on the Bank Holiday Monday, and they're coming to the stadium. I bet there's more people here now than there were at the start of the game.
More. It looks a lot more. First down, Blundin stays in the game on fourth quarter and puts one up in the air, and he's got his man. No, he hasn't. It's intercepted. Eric Turner broke that up. Big play from Eric Turner, the most improved player on the Barcelona Dragons lineup. It looked a certain reception, but Eric came up and broke it up and turned it into yet another turnover.
And I think Matt Blunden may have been of two minds in letting that go, because he takes a little bit off the ball and it's wobbling as it gets there. Turner gets inside position, makes a nice catch, gets 1 foot in bounds almost inadvertently. Big turnover now starting the fourth quarter for the Dragons, and Casey Weldon's still in at quarterback.
So the two head coaches pretty well sticking with their game plan. Their starting quarterback is indeed playing 3 quarters. That's what they said would happen. And we're still locked together inside the final quarter. Weldon gets pressure and just puts it up in the air, and he's lucky that wasn't picked off. Some great pressure coming straight up the middle, and Weldon got a wake-up call there.
He got
it was Alan Young.
Weldon got accordion just as he let go of the ball. It went almost straight up in the air. Watch Young coming from the top of your screen, number 94, fights off one blocker, and oof.
You know, Lewis Age has done a pretty good job on Alan Young, who was making a lot of big plays last week, but Young getting through that time. And the Dragons a little fortunate to get away with it. 2nd and 10. And the handoff, and looking for running room, and getting a little bit of running room before he's tackled is Lindsay Chapman. George Coghill, the strong safety, eventually bringing him down.
Chapman doing a nice job of getting himself outside to pick up a couple of yards, maybe 3.
Darrell Lewis, the free safety, in with the assist on his safety colleague George Coghill. A pickup of around 4 for Lindsay Chapman. They're still looking to establish the running game here, the Dragons. First down, they pick up the blitz, but a poor throw there. Either Tyree Davis didn't run the route that was expected, or Casey Weldon just threw it away, but that was a long way short of the intended receiver, and for the first time the Barcelona fans expressing a little bit of displeasure.
Claymores was sitting back in his zone, which Barcelona wasn't expecting at all, and Jack McNell I don't think likes at all. But Weldon had enough time to throw because the Claymores were coming at him with pressure. Went to the guy who had the double coverage.
So 1, 2, 3 and out for Barcelona. Scott Serrady will punt. Saran Stacey and De Graffenried are both deep. It drops near Stacey and then takes a little Scottish hop, and will be down at around the Claymores' 44-yard line.
So the Claymores do well on the exchange of punts. They get a lot better field position than they started out with.
So Matt Blunden being sent in by Doug Williams. Still 7-all here. We may be seeing overtime. I know that's tempting fate. Now the overtime rules here different than in the NFL. The coin toss obviously will determine possession, but each team must have at least 1 possession or a maximum of 10 minutes. There's 2 timeouts a team. So in other words, if the first team that gets the ball scores, the other team will have a chance to match that score. After that, it becomes sudden death. First down for the Claymores. They're not thinking overtime as Ken Alexander makes the tackle for the Barcelona Dragons, and still a long way to go. Flags down on that play.
And James Spencer out of Syracuse, another guy who's made the transition from offense to defense. He was in there on the tackle too, coming over from the nose tackle spot.
Scotland adjudged to have held there.
Whoa. Holding, number 83 offense, 10 yards, first down.
That's the tight end, Dwayne Chandler, who's made some clutch receptions in this game. But a bit too much clutching there from the tight end.
Double clutch, almost.
Doug Williams, the MVP of Super Bowl 22. The Washington Redskins. Very popular man among the Scottish Claymores. First down and 20. Blunden fakes the handoff. They pick up the pass rush. They get a man, it looks like De Graffenried, who is open down the middle, and that'll pick up 14 or 15 of those yards.
De Graffenried just going to the open spot on the little curl. Blunden's looking for him all the way. Now watch. Cuts in and out. Now does the turnaround. Right there, sure hands. Just pick up the yardage. Don't try to get it all at once.
But this has been a real tough, absorbing contest. As we see Alan De Graffenried's numbers, the man with the Kansas City Chiefs, reckoned by some experts to be the best in the league, the best athlete in the league.
We have a personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99, defense. Since it was a completed pass, we will tack it on 15 yards, first down.
Now that hurts the Dragons. Chucky Johnson, the left defensive end, getting assessed for a late hit on Matt Blunden, and the ball suddenly is at Barcelona's 36. called there by Blundin, who hands off anyway to Marcus Thomas, who looks to turn the corner and cannot do so. Coming up from cornerback Eric Turner, a young man who's made a lot of big plays. Another flag.
And I think we've got a personal foul out there. It's starting to get a little rough in the backfields.
Well, this is one of those games that you love if you're a defensive fan. Let's see. And it's against Scotland, so that'll push it back. But the World League were looking to encourage a lot of point scoring. This one a low-scoring game, but you can't take your eyes off the field.
We have a personal foul, illegal crackback, number 27 offense, 15 yards, replay first down.
That's Saran Stacey getting assessed.
And there was a lot of talking going on after that crackback block. But what you're saying, Nick, they're moving the ball really well, but not able to put the ball into the end zone. Barcelona, by contrast, moving the ball really well, having trouble on third downs. Mistakes hurting both teams, turnovers hurting both teams. But we're seeing some good football.
Scotland 5 penalties for 58 yards. Jim Kreiner looking on. Motion for the Scottish Claymores. Blundin on 1st and 25 will look to put it up in the air and does so. Alan de Graffenried comes down with it, makes a big play with Sean Thomas, number 20, all over him.
That was almost a great catch because Juan Long deflected that ball and de Graffenried still had it in his hands, but he dropped it as he hit the ground.
Mike Middleton with an assist there, but Alan de Graffenried very nearly coming up with something special. Let's take another look.
I see Long, the middle linebacker, taking the coverage right there. He gets his hand up and deflects the ball, and de Graffenried nearly still gets it. But a good job of coming over and helping out on the coverage by Sean Thomas.
De Graffenried checks out of the lineup. Blundin looks, got a man, and really that should have been a catch. Dwayne Chandler knows it. He's made some tough catches this afternoon. That was an easy one, and yet another one goes begging, and these drop passes are going to be frustrating the life out of Matt Blundin. Look, and that face says it all.
I think we've got 7 drop passes so far today for the Claymores. That's hurting them a lot, and Chandler had the step, could have made the turn, probably picked up about 10 yards on that play.
You know who's got the safest hands of all the Scottish receivers, and I include de Graffenried in this? Scott Cooper. But we haven't seen much of Scott in this game, the former Glasgow Lion. 3rd down and long for the Claymores. Blundin puts it up in the air, there's coverage, and it's overthrown. He was looking for Barnett. Tracy Smith had very good coverage. These Barcelona corners are doing a good job.
And they said Tracy Smith, who's small for a corner, he's only about 5'9", 185, but they said that he came on very strong in camp and probably performing the best of all their defensive backs.
Well, Smith has proved himself many times. Eric Turner on the other corner has done a very tight job. So, out comes Arden Krzyzewski once again for the Scottish Claymores. 12:24 left. And a good kick from Krzyzewski. Will be fielded by Charles Thompson, who runs out of running room, spins around and does a good job, and is then pushed out of bounds. But he could have turned a loss into about a 7-yard gain there, Thompson. Smart play. So, 12:13 left, 4th quarter. We're still tied up at 7 apiece. We'll be back after this.
Michael Jordan. To find what you desire requires a great effort. You look thirsty. Gatorade?
Thanks. I've come.
I know why you have come. You wish to know the meaning of life.
And?
Life is a sport. Drink it up.
That's what I figured.
Hey, 49er fans. Your team just completed a record-breaking season. Player of the Year Steve Young and Jerry Rice paced the league's best offense, while Deion Sanders tightened up the D. Together, they won an unprecedented 5th Super Bowl. So, 49er fans, what do you do for an encore? The official 49ers championship video is available now.
When you get into this profession, this coaching profession, you dream of someday being able to lead your team out to play a Super Bowl. Now all of a sudden it's there. You have that opportunity. It's really it's a feeling that you can't describe. It's just such a feeling of contentment.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 NFL games each Sunday. To sign up, call DirecTV at 1-800-781-4DTV.
Let there be football.
The U.S. Army has been attacked by land, by air, and now by shore. He's been given 1,000 regulations.
And give me push-ups!
All the way up and down, right?
And he's out to break every one of them.
Hot Wheels!
Get a hold of yourself, soldier.
Can I call you General Sweet Pants?
Pauly Shore
You a funny boy, huh?
is in the Army now, playing this month on DirecTV.
Welcome back to Barcelona. The Dragons and the Claymores still locked together at 7 apiece with 12-13 left. And there is Scott Cooper, number 87, the former Glasgow Lion. Had a catch last week. Very safe hands. I've been surprised not to see him this afternoon.
The thing with the last situation, Nick, was that it was all long yardage, and he doesn't have the speed they wanted at that.
That's true. We may yet see him. Weldon fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right and makes the completion. Tyree Davis picks up a first down. They made that one look very easy. Jocelyn Borgella eventually ran him out of bounds with a good fake from Weldon.
Nicely executed naked bootleg, and they call it the bootleg because you put the ball on your hip to hide it. Exactly what Weldon did. There you see. Fakes the handoff, hides the ball on his hip, and rolls out. He's all by himself now, which is why they call it a naked bootleg. But Tyree Hill was there. Tyree Davis, excuse me.
The ball at the 39-yard line after the pickup from Davis. First down, Dragons, and the handoff up the middle is to Ricky Blake, who came in and made a couple of tough plays and would be playing a lot more but for an ankle injury.
And what a difference Ricky Blake makes in that attack, because he got hit behind the line of scrimmage and kept going. The strength got him through that time, and he picked up good yardage.
Don't forget, he went on from the World League to the Dallas Cowboys for 2 seasons when they were the force in the NFL.
The force was with him.
Second down and around 5. Blake gets the call again. Can't do much this time. He's stood up, and I think Mark Sander eventually made the tackle. Darrell Lewis, the free safety, was in there. Alan Young wanted a piece of it as well.
And Gerald Jeffcoat, the tackle, was in there as well.
And Cisco Marcos, the Spanish wide receiver, a Barcelona native, was in on that play. Didn't get the call. Very popular in his native city. Originally from Mallorca, now based in Barcelona. Third down and around 6 for the Dragons. Weldon gets pressure from both sides, and it's picked up well. And a very well executed play to Demetrius Davis with pressure coming from both sides. Darrell Lewis made the stop, but the Dragons will be very pleased with that play.
The Dragons did a nice job of picking up the blitz and protecting Weldon, who had to hurry the pass but got it there to Demetrius Davis. Now watch the back here. Good block. Guy was coming right in Weldon's face, and he sees Davis open. Good sure hands by Demetrius Davis.
And the second block was from Mo Elewanibi on the left side of the screen there, the former Washington Redskin. 15 more yards for the Dragons. At the 46, they send Tyree Davis in motion. Weldon doesn't go for him.
And the naked
and a flag
bootleg
comes down on that.
Naked bootleg didn't fool Michael Brandon that time, and Weldon did a good job of getting it away.
Corris Irvin made the hit on Tyree Davis, the former London Monarch, but there is a flag. Scotland arguing it's going to be against Barcelona.
From Corris Irvin to Corris Lyon.
That's
There's
awful.
no foul on the play.
Learn to live with it, Nick.
Personal foul in the commentary box as well. Well, they're still waiting to determine who's going to get the personal foul against them as we have a look at Casey Weldon's numbers. And again, Jack Bicknell says he wants consistency from his quarterbacks. Hasn't really got it yet from Weldon.
Consistency and big plays are what have always distinguished the quarterbacks when Bicknell was coaching at Boston College, and also here in the World League the first 2 times around.
Well, we had a personal foul, but no chains have moved. So maybe it was an offsetting foul. And Weldon drops back on second down as they replay the down, and it's picked off straight into the hands of the Scottish Claymores. That's the last thing they wanted in that situation. and it's Williams, James Williams. He was just in the right place at the right time, and Casey Weldon should not have thrown that ball.
And Mario Henry really got hammered before the pass got there, but it wasn't by Williams who came in and took the interceptions. I don't know if that would have made any difference at all. Turnovers killing Barcelona. We have two teams determined to go to overtime here.
So Casey Weldon walks back to the sideline, and a very damning statistic as far as Barcelona's two quarterbacks are concerned. In 2 games, or in fact in less than 2 games, they've thrown 9 interceptions. The handoff to Saran Stacey, who's not going anywhere and does well just to do as well as he did, because Chucky Johnson was all over him, and it could have been even worse. Chucky Johnson was looking for the ball.
Johnson and Bonds each stunted and came right into the backfield, and Stacey took the handoff and said, uh-oh. Here you'll see it. They're good at stopping the run, and that's what they do. A nice little stunt by Chucky Johnson. Bonds is there. And Victor Hall gets into the act.
A loss of 8 yards. Once again, Barcelona's defense playing it tough, and they're going with 4 down linemen once again. 3 wide receivers for Matt Blundin, who gets good protection, and he's picked off now this time. Looked like it might have been Sean Thomas.
It was Sean Thomas, and he nearly dropped the ball and then hung on to it. Stepped right in front of the receiver. They showed the 4 down linemen, but they still had the 5 backs in.
Well, this is turning into a nightmare for 2 NFL quarterbacks. Matt Blundin of the Kansas City Chiefs, Casey Weldon of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they can't find their men. That's the 9th turnover in the game.
And Barcelona couldn't ask for better field position now as we move through the 4th quarter.
And time now a factor, Mike.
Jay Walker's in at quarterback. A quarterback change for the Dragons.
First down, Dragons. They show blitz. Jay Walker drops the ball. And there's some kind of jinx on quarterbacks out there, Mike.
Everything was going wrong because the line moved at the wrong time. Walker dropped the ball as he came off. Not sure if it was Christopher Perez taking the snap now for Andy McCollum, but Perez was in on the line.
Charles Thompson made the recovery. Mike Brandon was hovering dangerously close to the ball as well. A loss of around 3 yards on the play.
And there's all kinds of problems when you've got quarterbacks splitting time. Snaps from the center, the least of them.
Jay Walker goes to his right, can't find his receiver. He was looking for Mario Henry, the 2 Patriots who hooked up to good effect in the first half, but not hooking up at all there. And receivers don't like changing quarterbacks.
Exactly. You get used to the way a quarterback throws. It's even worse for Scotland, where you've got a right-hander and a left-hander, and they have different spins on the ball, but you get used to the way he throws, and you also get timing with your quarterback when you're a receiver. If you're running 7 and out, you know a certain quarterback's going to get you the ball at a certain time as you make the cut.
Barcelona have converted 5 of 13 third downs. They may just try and put something through the middle here to get it into field goal range, which is exactly what they do. They go to Demetrius Davis, who's short of first down by a couple of yards rather, but they may now be in field goal range.
And a good drilled pass by Walker and a good grab by Demetrius Davis. Field goal team is coming on the field.
It will be a 37-yard field goal kick for the Barcelona Dragons. Scott Serradi, the former soccer player who was drafted by the Monarchs and cut in favor of Don Silvestri, 37 yards out. The kick is up, it's on its way, and it's good. So with 7:40 left in the ballgame, Barcelona break the tie. Scott Serradi's 37-yard field goal puts Cowboy Jack's team in the saddle.
And turnovers made that field goal. Turnovers such a big part of this game.
So Scott Serradi puts the Dragons on top. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the ball game. We'll be right back.
Now that you've given her away, you'll always cherish the memories. You'll always remember the joy. And you'll never forget the bill.
$220 for parsley?
But hey, isn't that why you got Visa Gold in the first place? With all the purchase power to handle any occasion.
even the most precious. Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
And to this reporter, it's obvious that these strike negotiations are going nowhere fast.
Well, I've had just about enough. Let's go.
Excuse me.
Love the shoes.
What were we thinking? After you. No, after you.
Life is good.
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Our work here is done.
Play ball.
Short.
Instead of a tip,
Lottery ticket?
he made her a promise.
If this ticket wins, I'll come back tomorrow and split the proceeds. What do you think?
I think I'm never going to see you again.
Now all he has to do
What did we win?
$4 million.
Oh my God!
is tell his wife.
I've got something to tell you.
Nicolas Cage, Bridget Fonda, Rosie Perez. It could happen to you.
Why don't you just give her all the money?
This month on DirecTV.
Scott Zerady has put Barcelona on top. The drive, 4 plays, 8 yards, and Zerady finished it off with a 37-yard field goal. And the pressure now on the Scottish Claymores. Alan de Graffenried is back at around his own 11-yard line. The big play man for the Scottish Claymores. They need a big play from him right now. Shallow kick that's fielded at around the 32 and out of bounds. So they'll get decent field position. Joe Mickles could have had a piece of that, but Matt Blundin, well, we've talked about the impending retirement announcement of Joe Montana at Kansas City, and you just wonder if that's been going through Matt Blundin's mind at all today, because he has not looked as impressive as he did last week.
No, and we talked with Matt about having the opportunity to impress people in this World League season. It'll be a wide open job. Steve Bono is the heir apparent there in Kansas City, but the job's got to be wide open if Joe goes.
Joe Mickles, number 43, the big blocking fullback, has been kept in the lineup by the Scottish Claymores. Mickles, the former Barcelona Dragon, knows this stadium well. 7:35 left in the ball game, and Matt Blundin calls a timeout. Doesn't like the look of something, or saw the play clock just about to drop to naught as it does so quickly.
And just as the play clock was dropping, Scotland's line shifted over, lined up on different men with a 4-man set, and Blundin had a play called for the 3-man set.
So Matt Blundin talks to Doug Williams. We've still got plenty to play for this week, but next week a full program of action coming up as well in the World League. On Saturday, Barcelona will be back in the Olympic Stadium. They'll take on the Rhine Fire. There's the ticket hotline for that one if you want to go along, and Barcelona is a wonderful city. The Scottish Claymores travel to Frankfurt, who'll be looking to bounce back from their loss on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, April the 23rd, the London Monarchs christen White Hart Lane when they take on the league's only unbeaten team, the Amsterdam Admirals. Make sure you're at that one. Make White Hart Lane rock and roll. So after the timeout, Scotland 1st and 10 at the 33. 3 wide receivers in, a single back is Joe Mickles. They fake to Mickles, Blundin buys time, pressure coming, and it's the pressure that destroyed that play. Victor Hall, the tight end that's become a defensive end, that showed tight end speed there.
And Ernie Rogers was having a tremendously difficult time trying to keep Victor Hall off Matt Blundin. Now watch on the left of your screen. Hall takes a nice quick move. Rogers has his hands up, and all he can do is push him, and he literally pushes him into Blundin. Hall, good reaction to get Blundin's arm as he goes down.
And as this game has gone on, you sense that Barcelona's defense have put their ears back and really started to come after this Scottish offense.
When they get pressure from that front 3, that's a plus. 2nd
down. The dump off to Joe Mickles, who is knocked down by Joe Johnson, so the former Barcelona Dragon. In fact, Jack Linnell was saying he was about to take him, and then in the 5th round, Scotland picked him up just before Jack was going to get him.
And there's another reason why you wear shoulder pads, is when you try to knock Joe Mickles over.
I wouldn't try to knock Joe Mickles over with a baseball bat, I tell you. Solid, squat, and a real load. 3rd down and 6. The clock continues to run under 7 minutes, and Scotland will look to try and get something out of this drive. Over the top, intended for Marcus Thomas. It bounced through his hands and incomplete. So 4th down and 6, and they're sending Scott Serrady out. This is no time to gamble and go for it.
And that's a good call there for wanting your sure-handed receivers in. Blunden put the ball in the money, but Thomas couldn't hold on to it. That's 8 drop passes now.
A frustrating afternoon in Barcelona for Matt Blunden. Scott Serrady will get it away. And it's fielded at around the 23-yard line. And staying on his feet and really working hard there, Charles Thompson picks up around 10 yards, and on a punt return, that's an impressive number.
Charles Thompson is showing some moves on those punt returns. He did a great spin on the last one that we saw. He got a great move this time to get free and pick up extra yardage. And what this does is give Barcelona good field position and room to move.
So the Scottish special teams trudge off. Cowboy Jack will have quite a few positives coming out of this game, whatever the result. My stats man, our stats crew up here are telling us 11 deflections by the Dragons defense in this game. That's pressure. 1st down. Jay Walker puts it up in the air, and he finds Tyree Davis. It's a while since we've had a completion like that. James Williams on the coverage. It'll be around the 1st down marker.
And Brian Jones was hanging on to Demetrius Davis for dear life, just inside of where that Tyree Davis pass was completed. Just when you think he might keep it on the ground, try to kill some time off the clock. Jack McNeil always keeps you guessing, but you notice Ricky Blake, the big guy, is in at the running back spot.
2nd down and a couple of inches for the Dragons. And Jay Walker keeps the ball himself and just pushes forwards. Gets good penetration behind his line.
He's still going.
Picks up considerably more yardage than you want to see if you're a Scottish Claymore player or fan.
And Andy McCollum, the center, did a great job for Jay Walker there. Just followed that first block, and his size and strength kept him going.
I think Jay Walker would have been happy for 1. He picked up around 6. And Jim Kreiner has got to be looking at that and saying, what is happening to my defense out there? You don't like to see a play like that. When a quarterback is picking up 6 yards on a sneak, you know there's something going wrong. Walker puts it up in the air, couldn't find Tyree Davis there. It would have been a very tough catch to make for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer, who'd drawn double coverage.
Very tough indeed. And again, Jack McNeil sort of kicking the ground as he looks at that zone coverage develop.
Dick Curl on the left, the offensive coordinator, back on the headset now. Normal service has been resumed to the quarterbacks.
Tight? Demetrius goes right in behind his back.
Those guys have been together for a long time.
2nd down and 10. Scotland are coming after the Jay Walker there. Walker looked for Demetrius Davis. Darrell Lewis was looking at Demetrius Davis. And in the end, there is no completion.
And he had Demetrius Davis there, but it's a high, hard one. And what we were talking about, the difference in the way the two quarterbacks throw can be part of the problem in trying to judge how that kind of pass is coming. Weldon would have left you up there with a softer, easier to catch ball.
Ricky Blake has come out of the lineup. Charles Thompson has come back in. 3rd down and 10. Walker flushed out of the pocket and goes for a run, and there's 1st down yardage for him here. And Jocelyn Borgella, number 28, decided against going one-on-one with Jay Walker. He's a big fella, Jay Walker, and even though he's a quarterback, there's not too many defensive backs who want to go one-on-one with him in open field.
He knew Walker was heading for the ground anyway, but Walker did a smart thing on this run. Now he goes back. There's more good coverage by the Scotland defense, so Walker takes it out of the pocket. He's got loads of running room here, and he's heading for the sideline. Then he remembers, we're ahead, clock's running down, I don't want to go out of bounds. So he heads upfield and just goes down.
To the 38-yard line. Clock continuing to run, 4.5 minutes left. They give it to Charles Thompson, who works well behind a couple of blocks and picks up around 7 yards. This running game starting to come together now for Barcelona. And George Coghill on the stop. And
they're changing the point of attack. A little rolling handoff there to get Thompson a little bit wider behind Ilawanibi and Bradley. Good gain. Charles Thompson's really moving.
They've got 3 running backs who can do the job, Barcelona. And that offensive line starting to settle. You talked about your keys before the game, Mike. We'll come back to them after this play. I think of the two teams, Barcelona have achieved their ends better than Scotland, and the handoff up the middle once again to Thompson, who gets first down yardage. George Coghill was there, but they're starting to look a little bit disorganised and dispirited now on the Scottish defence.
And Thompson made that one himself with a nice little shift move. Watch this. He takes the handoff. He's heading for the hole. It's not really there, so he goes wider. There's not much of a hole even there, but he squeezes through it and picks up yardage. We said they wanted to protect the passer. They've done that. They wanted to establish the running game. They've done that. And they wanted to shut down the Claymores receivers and helped by some dropped catches. They've done that.
First down for Barcelona, 3.5 minutes left, looking to put this game away. Charles Thompson turns the corner, picks up around 4 or 5 before he's hustled out of it by George Coghill.
Borgella did a nice job now. He'll be the guy who comes up. And Thompson's got the corner, but Borgella comes up really fast and forces him to take the extra step. And he's forced out of bounds.
With the ball at the 21-yard line. Second down and around 5 for the Barcelona Dragons. Ahead by 3, 3 minutes left. They come after him, but Walker gets it off. He finds Tyree Davis. That will be short of first down yardage. Jocelyn Borgella came up very quickly to make the stop and bring it up short of first down yardage.
Walker wanted a quick check off there because he saw Borgella laying back in the coverage, and Davis just went underneath that, just short of a first down.
Well, this is what Scotland wanted, because Barcelona, for all their improvement in this second half, and particularly this fourth quarter, they're still having trouble with third down conversions. They've got 3rd and 1 from the 18. And they keep it on the ground. Charles Thompson spins and barrels and twists his way for 6.
And Walker saw the defense. They showed 5 back. Linebacker came up to make it a 4-3, but then dropped right back, and it was set for the run. And they get good blocking for Charles Thompson on this. Takes the handoff. He doesn't even have to look for the hole because it's there, and he gets through, and he gets the extra yards himself.
And that is the 2-minute warning. Barcelona leading by 3.
That's a 2-minute warning.
And they have the ball at the Scotland 10-yard line. We'll be back for the rest of the game after this.
While NFL action is still months away, the NFL has launched a new season on the internet. NFL Sidelines is an online connection to your favorite teams and players. Connect on the net with NFL fans around the world and chat live with the biggest names in football.
This movie is rated R.
Plus special coverage of the 1995 NFL Draft. The NFL moves into cyberspace with NFL Sidelines. Tackle the internet.
One of my patients was killed last night.
The more innocent she seems,
I don't really know you. You have all the power.
the more suspicious he becomes.
You're trying to see me as a case instead of as a female.
The more passion they share, the more danger he risks.
I'm not who you think I am.
Bruce Willis, no! Color of Night.
Playing this month on DirecTV.
We've talked about this being a passers league, but the story of this game has been the running game. Barcelona 65 yards on the ground this half, 44 on this drive.
Puts them over 100 for the game, and any game where you're over 100 in the World League means that you're doing a good job on the ground.
First and goal from the 10 for Barcelona. Looking to level their record at 1-1. They come after Walker. Walker pump fakes twice, got a lot of time. He's got Tyrone Davis, and it's broken up. George Coghill thought he had a piece of that, and in the end, Tyrone Davis did well to bat the ball away.
Sometimes you can just try to put too much touch on the ball. That one was up there for grabs. See, Walker's looking for Davis. He has a little pump fake, and again, and then he sets it off. Davis has to come back for it, and Davis did a good job of breaking that one up.
Davis did a very good job, because the last thing Barcelona need is a turnover here. Give Scotland a chance to get their hands on the ball. They keep it on the ground again. Charles Thompson shoves his way for a couple of tough yards through the middle. Brian Jones, a brick wall. Troy Ridgely there as well. And Jones a little shaken up on that one. He's slow getting up and is still on the ground.
Ridgely did a good job of holding the blockers up, and Brian Jones came over from the middle to smack Charles Thompson.
Well, that stops the clock for Scotland, but 1:38 left.
We have an injured Scotland player on the play during the last 2 minutes.
It's the defense
this is
now
a charge timeout.
is going to make or break the game for Scotland at this point.
Now look at those rushing numbers for Barcelona. 117. Jack Bicknell said we must get the running game going, and he's done that. And he'll be very happy with that if Barcelona hold on.
And as you said, Nick, over 40 of those yards in the second half on this drive alone.
Well, Brian Jones still shaken up, so that stops the clock. But Scotland have to hold Barcelona to a field goal here and then go into a very, very quick hurry-up offense to try and get it up the other end with time very much against them. They've got a 3rd down and goal from the 8 coming up. They've got to stop them.
And it was Barcelona's defense holding Scotland when Scotland started off with great field position and moved right down into their territory that set this drive up. Scotland's defense has to come through now.
Brian Jones getting very slowly and gingerly to his feet. He's had a good game from his middle linebacker position, but may not return in this one.
4 years as a backup in the NFL and looking to get back into a starting spot. He's a tough middle linebacker.
Ricky Andrews comes in to replace him. So 1:33 and counting. The game clock down to 15 seconds, and Barcelona will be in no rush to get this play off at all. Down to 10. Weldon may let it drop to 2 or 1. 3rd down. Again, he fakes the handoff, and Demetrius Davis should have had a piece of that one. Jay Walker put it up for Davis, and Davis couldn't hang on to it, but I doubt if he'd have gone in from there anyway. So that will send in Scott Serrady to go for the field goal, which means that the Claymores will have a last chance if they do indeed go for the field goal. Scotland will get their hands on the ball. This should be a chip shot for Serrady, who's 3 for 3 on the year. 26 yards. Straight down the middle, no problem. So
there's a flag on the play, Nick.
Well, we'll have to see what that is. That could be very costly for the Claymores if that goes against them.
It seemed to come after the kick, so it could be something personal.
Well, let's see which way this one's going to go. Some firecrackers going off in the stadium. There's been plenty of those all afternoon.
David Webb was jumping up and down.
2 timeouts. They have 1 left.
We have leverage. Number 59 defense. Half the distance. 1st down.
That's against David Webb, a backup defensive lineman. So they get a 1st down. That's some confusion there, but whatever. It's bad for Jim Kreiner.
It's not 5, it's half the distance to the end zone. David Webb, encroachment, lining up offside.
Well, tough to see how Jim Kreiner's team can come back from this. A 1st down at the 4 when they were down by 6. After that field goal, they still had a chance, but it remains 10-7. But Barcelona have the ball. 1st down with 1 minute and 10 left. Jay Walker at quarterback. Hands it off to Charles Thompson, who looks to try and break the tackle of Darrell Lewis, and Lewis hung on and saved a touchdown.
Just to correct myself on that, unsportsmanlike conduct was the call, and then it looked like it did come after the kick. That's what was confusing me there. As if the kick had gone through and the play was dead, you'd expect that the unsportsmanlike conduct would be marched off on the kickoff following.
So the clock running. Scotland with 1 timeout left, 40 seconds. Barcelona leading by 3 and looking to punch it in from the 3. Walker gives it to Charles Thompson once again, but they've stacked him up and they've taken the timeout, which they had to do. Troy Ridgely, the first man there.
Timeout, Scotland. That is their third and last charge.
Gerald
Timeout.
Jeffcoat in on the play. Let's hear the call.
Right, should be over. Yeah, take a knee. Should be over. Take a knee.
Take a knee.
Right.
Okay, save the game.
Just
Save the game. We just... What? Yeah. Okay. All right. Give him more time on the audibles. I got you, Lewis.
That was Lewis Age rumbling over towards Coach Bicknell, saying they need more time.
I got you, Lewis.
Two wide outs.
You heard what Jack Bicknell said there. Save the game. You're ahead by 3 with 26 seconds left. You can't lose from here, surely.
He's not going to take any chances, is what he's saying there.
Last week they lost by 2. This week it looks like the Claymore are going to lose by 3, and it's a tough afternoon in Spain for Jim Kreiner. Third down. Will Jay Walker do what his coach told him? Yes, he does.
And there won't be time to get another play off, so they saved the game.
In fact, the clock has stopped at 23. Now it starts again. So with the play clock at 25 and the clock running at 18, that will do it. Jack Bicknell gets his first win of the 1995 campaign. The Barcelona Dragons level their record at 1 apiece. The Scottish Claymores dropped to 0-2, but 2 tough defeats for the Claymores. Mike, some thoughts from you?
For the second straight week, the Claymores could have won the game. They were down there enough times to score, but they just couldn't put it in for the scores. Defense held Barcelona to 10 tough points. It's another tough loss for Jim Kreiner.
You get so goddamn tired at the end, you know? You guys, our guys, you get a couple guys hurt, and you're all of a sudden... Makes a hell of a difference in a hurry.
So some final thoughts there from Jack Bicknell. Everyone very tired. Both sets of players have worked hard, but it's the Barcelona Dragons that have come up with it. They've won it 10-7.